for $25. And Monday is Ladies' Day. Ladies playing right on Mondays for $18. The Crowder's Mountain Golf Course, 255 Lincoln Academy Road, Kings Mountain. For tee times, call 704-739-7681.
With warmer weather coming soon, get a great rate on recreational vehicles such as motorcycles, campers, boats, RVs, tractors, and more. Carolina Federal Credit Union in Cherryville is offering a special rate on recreation vehicles as low as 2.75% APR. Apply online at carolinafcu.org or by phone or in person. Rates based on credit history. Let Carolina Federal Credit Union treat you like family. Located at 1200 East Church Street in Cherryville. If you're unhappy about the service you receive from your pharmacy, then see the happy people at the Happy Pharmacies, Medical Center Pharmacy in Cherryville, and the Falston Pharmacy in Falston. They'll be more than happy to serve you and your pharmacy needs. See them about preventive care vitamins and to help fight off those colds and viruses. Don't worry, be happy with the Happy Pharmacies, Medical Center Pharmacy, 607 East Academy Street in Cherryville, and the Falston Pharmacy, Highway 18 North in Falston. Hey, look, it's Gary Dellinger with Dellinger Electric. Gary, what's going on?
Hey, Calvin, just stopped by to see how the new jingle was coming along.
Well, as a matter of fact, we just finished it up. Want to hear it?
Oh, I can't wait.
Here we go.
When it comes to your wiring, you don't want to monkey around. Call Dellinger Electric. They're the best electricians in town.
Well, what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't even give her phone number. And monkey around?
704-435-0705. They're the best electricians in town.
I don't have to pay for that, do I?
Get ready for the big game with a stop in at Mitchum's Kitchen in Vail. It's time to order your hot wings. And now at Mitchum's Kitchen in Vail, get more meat with the Buffalo-style chicken legs. Great for any game. Just call 704-276-1155. And don't forget about their barbecue. Order enough for your big game day party. It's a Super Bowl of great food at Mitchum's Kitchen, Highway 27 West at 274 intersection in Vail. Online at mitchumskitchen.com. See their page at whatsupshopper.com and like them on Facebook too.
More Sports Talk with Kevin, Zach, Tom, and Terry, although Zach isn't here yet, if he's coming at all. And as always, we have JP making them sound good, and today is a very, very special day because on this day, exactly 30 years ago, I was born.
Well, why didn't you tell us, JP? I'd have birthday music, balloons, cakes.
Well, I was going to pull up some on YouTube.
Working
I
on his
probably
birthday.
don't want to do that.
You know, that's a
All
working
you had to do
man
is
right
text
there.
us.
That's a working man.
Let us know.
Well, I actually wanted to do this. I mean, be honest, if I didn't want to do it, I would have said, yeah, I'm not coming in. It's my birthday. But, I mean, I wanted to do this, so hey.
At least you didn't take off to go to a friend's birthday.
Oh, how about that?
How about that?
Are you saying you love us? You really love us, JP?
Yeah.
We could
proud of
put
you.
him on the milk carton with a little birthday hat on. Have you seen that? I just want to remind our listeners that Saturday Morning Sports Talk is brought to you by Shelby Heating and Air. Give them a call, 704-487-7877, all your heating and air needs. And as I was saying on the radio last night, North Carolina, you might need your heat and air in the same day, Terry. So you better make sure both of them are working all year round. So if you need upgrade, you need an installation, you need service, anything wrong with your heat and air, call Shelby Heat and Air, 704-487-7877. They'll take care of you.
Well, good morning, everybody. JP, first thing you didn't do is, as you always do, though, happy birthday, is listen to what I said. I said, bear with me for a minute, and as soon as the music went off, you start talking in there. So the people at home didn't get half their introduction, so just letting you know. Happy birthday, though.
Yes, happy birthday, JP.
It is JP's birthday today, so you can send cards and letters to ktcbroadcasting.com.
What you going to do for your birthday?
We're actually, my parents are coming over, and we're going to play games, go out to eat, and go see a movie.
What are you going to go see?
Death on the Nile.
Death on the Nile.
Yes.
Is that a historical
Without
movie?
me asking, with me regretting what I'm about to ask, what is that about?
You've never heard of Hercule Poirot, an Agatha Christie mystery?
Well, you didn't say that.
I've said
Well, that's what it's
advertisement.
called. The name of the book was Agatha Christie was a mystery writer. She did Miss Marple and she did Hercules Poirot. Poirot is a detective, and in one of the books called Death on the Nile, someone gets murdered while they're on Egypt on the Nile, and that's what the movie's about. He's trying to solve the murder on the water.
But why is everybody denying what's going on? Why are they all in denial?
What do you mean?
Nothing.
No one's denying. Well, they're all denying it because they're not going to say, "Oh yeah, I did it for."
Are they not all in denial?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I
Of
was
course, they all
asking.
had a motive too.
JP, he's making a pun.
Yes, I
Are they
got
all
that.
in
Denial. Gotcha.
There you go.
It
got it now.
It was bad. It was bad and it was corny, but I
It's
knew I
early.
could play with you for that.
You know, JP,
On your birthday
he's one of
Saturday
those.
morning.
He's one of those idiot. He's one of those idiot kids in school that makes stupid remarks and
Yeah.
tries to confuse the teacher just to go in
JP?
class that day. It's the way.
I would correct Tom. What was it in Germany you were complaining about last week or the week before you didn't know how to pronounce?
I can't remember.
It's in Bad Picks. When I was cutting it this week, it was some town, and you said you felt bad for it, and then the Rams people, the NBC News said that Matt Stafford played for the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, I remember that, but I can't remember the mispronunciation.
You'll see it in a
of the
minute,
town.
I guess. One of some town with it was a T or a G or something you couldn't do.
JP, how old are you, buddy?
He's 30, man. Don't you
He
listen?
didn't listen.
I didn't listen. I see it. I missed it. I will say that.
I remember I have vague memories of being 30. I thought like when I turned 30, it was, oh no, I'm 30, and now I'm pushing 50 here. So
I
Terry,
wish I was
just keep
back
on going.
30.
Oh no! I mean,
No, I want to get into my 50s because you know what, Terry? That's it.
Senior citizen discount.
Senior citizen
Oh.
discount check coming in from the great state of North Carolina will be coming in every month to my house, and I can do what I want. I can do remotes with Calvin. I can umpire baseball. I can do whatever I want, Terry. I'm looking forward to that, aren't you? No?
Yeah.
You're going to stay at West Lincoln High School till you're 85 years old.
I do. So
You're gonna have his cane beating it on the
That's
desk.
right. Yeah, that's right. You're going to have his cane beating on his desk.
I did have a question. A fan did have a question for you, Terry.
A fan.
I'm not going to tell you his first name, but his last name rhymes with Bush. I told him I was talking about refereeing and basketball and stuff, and he said, "Terry referees basketball?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "He runs up to court?" I said, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has to. They don't let him sit over on the side." And he said, "I might have to see that to believe it." So Andre doubted that you were athletic enough to referee basketball
Andre,
for kids basketball. I
That's
just
on
wanted
kind
to
of
let you
Andre
know
is
where he
so
went.
old, at his age already, and he's already gave up on doing athletic stuff. Doesn't mean that everybody does,
Way to go, Andre.
I actually saw him in Ingles yesterday.
Yeah, he's probably in one of them
Right.
carts you roll around.
I was there twice last weekend, JP, and didn't see you once. So I guess you took the whole weekend off.
Well, no, I don't work on the weekends. That's half of the reason, probably.
Okay.
I mean, it's usually
nothing
during the
wrong with
week
that.
in the mornings. So
I thought you worked at Publix.
I used to.
Oh,
So now you work at Ingles.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't
What,
know
what
that.
They-
angles you worked at?
Tom, free agent.
one right
baby.
up here.
Free agent.
In Kings Mountain.
Money talk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, y'all would come in there and see me.
So what
Well,
department
Kevin
are you
said
working
he
in?
did, but you was
Front
not
ends.
in there.
What's that?
Front end.
Front end?
Cashier.
Cashier. Okay.
Cashier use scan.
I did not even realize that JP had,
How about that?
gone over to the
We
dark
didn't
side.
know that.
He had switched. Because I was just about to call you out. I was like, JP, why are you in Ingalls? You work at Publix.
Yeah, well, I mean, when they offer you full time, it's kind of hard to say no.
Yeah, they're both kind of pretty people grocery stores there.
Well,
Ingalls and
Publix
Publix.
is a better company, but
Okay,
JP, you realize you're on the air. Okay.
yeah.
He's just you're not. JP,
I'm sorry,
you
I'm
will
being
never-
honest.
You will never be a paid spokesman for anyone.
No.
Why is that?
No.
Why is that?
Why is that?
Because I'm biased about
Buy a
certain
Ford.
grocery stores.
Buy a Ford. Chevy's actually better. But
Right, you're
buy a
here.
Ford.
You're truthful. You're
I would
truthful to
never
a heart.
say that about
You're
a
truthful to
car.
a
Hey,
heart.
Ford. It's
Toyota's
not
better.
a Mercedes, but it's not bad.
Truthful to a
Boy, indeed, whatever this
Toyota's
is
better.
got into.
He's
What's,
awful.
what's happening here?
Hey, you opened the conversation.
Are we going to talk
Well,
about sports?
we were until it was JP's birthday.
Okay.
We do have to mention some things today. It is playoff time. Terry, I'm looking, and I'm going to find here in a second for you guys. I'll let you get into some of this just a tad because I have to give a shout out. My wife's nephew is in the I think he made the championships, wherever you put that, in the 1A individual. Is that what it is, Terry? 1A individual?
Oh, you talking about the holding over at Greensboro today?
Yeah.
Yes.
Quarter.
This is individuals.
So semifinal round results. I'm gonna click on that. I wanted to see if I can find his name on there. I don't know how heavy he is. There are a few people on here. Chase Miller won from Cherryville in the 1As. And let's see if I can find. I think Mason won. Hoping he did. If he didn't, I just brought it up and he did. I thought he won. But anyway, they are having those. This website I'm looking at is putting that information out. The reason I pulled it up anyway was to go over a little bit. No, Mason lost by a decision, major decision, whatever that means. Terry, do you know what that means?
It's beat pretty bad.
Okay,
like 16-2 or a lot less.
Yeah, the kid that beat him was 45-4.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty decent record. Mason was 37-8. So,
Still a good year.
Well, his game isn't wrestling; it's MMA. So if you got to punch him or elbow him, it might be a different story. You never know. So that was 182. Like I said, the kid from Cherryville, where I just lost Chase at 152, won by fall over a kid from East Wilkes. So I did want to mention them here on Cherryville Radio as we get to the projections. Tom, I know you guys are excited about that. They're going to release those, I think, later today. Is that the story? That's what it says on here.
You're talking about the basketball.
Right, the basketball will. It says they're supposed to be released today.
Yeah, Burns is right on the bubble. They might squeak in, and if they do, it's the first time all 4 county teams will get in a long, long time. So hopefully they get in. They did win one conference tournament game, which is going to help them. So, and I think them and East Gaston are right there at the borderline to get in for the 2A. Interested to see where Coach Hollifield and the Shelby Golden Lions end up. They're talking 3 or 2. Winning that conference championship's going to help them. And Crest, I mean, they're just a machine. Terry, they've won 28 straight conference games. 28.
Sound like North Carolina State.
That's pretty. Yeah,
College.
yeah. That's
Women's.
pretty. That's pretty impressive. So we'll see. I just want to mention too that at Burns High School, Silas Tate signs at Wingate University yesterday. Congratulations, Silas. He'll be playing football at the next level. He's got a little issue with his knee, so hopefully that gets healed up and he's ready to go in the fall. But congratulations, Silas Tate.
Yeah, and I'd like to mention one more thing when we just went away from wrestling back to it, but 2A conference with Bandy's, Newton Conover, West Lincoln, and all them, their final rankings come out this past week. In the 2A rankings, Bandy's was number 1, Newton Conover 2, West Lincoln number 3. Lincoln had come in at number 6, Bunker Hill at number 10, and Maiden come in at number 29. And I know in the 2A rankings, they have like 56 guys that end up being in the state championship on the one-on-ones, and about 30 of them come out of this one conference.
Yeah,
So,
really strong wrestling conference.
Yes.
It is really strong wrestling conference, and getting ready, for the playoff basketball. I'm excited about that, and baseball getting ready to start. A lot of stuff going on in high school. I just want to go ahead and say I did mention it. Congratulations, Coach Hollifield, for winning the conference tournament, and Coach Levine at Crest. So we've got 2 Cleveland County teams conference basketball championships. So congratulations to both of them. And like I said, 28 wins in a row.
Yeah, and very impressive.
I tell you that's impressive. Danny McDowell and his Bessemer City Yellow Jackets. I know that Coach McDowell. He's a neighbor of yours.
Yeah.
He's got that Pettis kid for Bessemer City over 20 points again. But I think what hurt Bessemer City last night, it was their 3rd game, and Shelby got the bye. And Bessemer City plays about 6 guys. You could tell legs, jump shot kind of went out in the 4th quarter. But I'm going to give credit to Coach Hollifield and his guys. They played hard. They figured out. Well, I was trying to figure out the defense. I don't know if you heard me, Kevin.
Right,
I was listening. I was trying to
matchup zone they were playing.
Yeah, they were like. I talked to Jakeith Hamilton, and he says it's 1-3-1. I said, I won 1-3-1. And I talked to Coach Hollifield. I said matchup zone. I said, yeah. I mean, it just looked like they just clogged the middle, and then when the ball went outside, then they popped.
Well, the point or the guards probably thought it was a 1-3-1 because more than likely the lead guard was probably forcing aside, so it looks like he's
sort
in front and he's pushing aside. Then they jump into who they got. The question I have as far as that goes is that an example of the same thing when the football side is adept? Is that Shelby? Traditionally, Aubrey and the gang have run out shifts, 2 shifts of 5. Now the first shift's always been good and really good, and the second shift's been good as well. But the first shift's has been excellent, and then you got 5 guys that can come in. If somebody does get in trouble, they move it. Now, they've had a few stars here and there, but for the most part, it's been 7, 8 deep. For them.
Yeah, they it seems like they got about 8. And what sticks out in my mind is they've got Allen, DeMario Allen, and Jaden Pierce comes in for him. Well, basically, Pierce is a bigger version of him. So, I mean, when they come out, it's like they don't lose anything. And then Isaiah Bridges comes in, and he's not the biggest guy, but what he lacks in size, he makes up for in hustle. He's really all over the place. I think he had like 5 points last night, but he gives them a lift off the bench, too.
Well, as far as Bessemer going now, and you've seen them play against Burns as well, have you, right?
Yes.
Okay, so as far as them now matching up with these 1A schools, is like the Thomas Jeffersons and whoever else they have to play here in the playoffs. How do you see them moving forward, matching up?
I don't think a lot of 1A schools can stay with them until they get into the charter schools. Now, the charter schools recruit, and every charter school I see in the 1A, 2A, they'll have a 6'9" guy or something.
We've got Winston-Salem Prep sitting there in the 2. Hayesville's the 1. Thomasville, that was our nemesis when I was in school.
Yeah.
And then we've got Bessemer projected as a 6 right now. Cherryville at a 20, 32 CD 33. So Cherryville would match up projected with go to Swain County, Bishop McGinnis, or North Rowan in that area. Bessemer would host someone in the Mountain Island, Bethany Community, or Cherokee teams would come to Bessemer in the first round there in the 1A boys.
So that's projected.
These are projected. Now, these guys do really good jobs. This is high school overtime. Use them as their projections.
What is the 2A?
I'm working on it here, sir. It's only as fast as the internet, so we have to talk while the internet spins. Yeah. If in fact we're getting fiber this week, or I think we are. They've approved it. The engineer's got to go plug the things in and send us a bill. But other than that, we're just waiting on that. The wires have been run. Let's see, Terry. 2A boys in the East, Farmville Central, Kinston. Any surprise there?
No, that should be every year.
Right. All right. Out west. RS Central, the 1C, Lincoln Charter, the 2. Now, again, Tom, what we were mentioning there with the 1As, that's where those charters tend to sit, and that's where you get those like 6'9", 6'8" guys once you get down to the Final Four. Yeah. A lot of these teams, the Shelbys, I think you got a better chance in the 2s and 3s as the public schools in basketball. And we've seen it in the past few years. Crest has made run, Ashbrook's made run, Shelby's made run. Shelby won it. They've all made runs. At some point, it seems like someone of the 2. East Lincoln's made some runs, but the 1As have been blockaded by the prep schools for the most part. But Lincoln Charter's there in the 2, Shelby 3, North Surrey 4. Projected Shelby would be hosting someone like Surrey Central, West Stanley, or Randaman. Lincoln at a 22 would be traveling somewhere like West Caldwell, Hendersonville, Trinity. Maiden will be traveling somewhere like Patton, East Surrey, or North Stanley.
West Caldwell's up there at number 10. That's a very misleading West Caldwell team because I think they started the year like 0-7. Then they ended up 18-9 overall. So
how many of those 18 are conference wins?
It looks like East
a
Gaston.
lot. I mean, that's really a big deal because, I mean, that's another thing that you speak of that. I'm glad you did because you go with the overall
that a weak conference?
Well, if you average up the overall, there are 80 wins and 117 losses.
Yeah.
So there you go. Your top three, though, have 50 wins, and the rest of the conference have 20.
So, Terry, are you saying someone in the Lexington, Lincoln, and Mount Pleasant, East Gaston range won't mind taking a trip to West Caldwell?
Not really. I mean, I think West Caldwell's a lot better.
They beat
now.
us by 50.
You know, so
in the second or third round when I was in.
It's not going to be an easy match.
We got Burns getting in there at a 28 seed.
Okay. Oh, they did. I skip that one time.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
They got Burns getting in at a 28 seed. So that'd be great for Coach Jeter and the boys at Burns. I know they haven't been in the playoffs for a long time, so
now,
hopefully that
Shelby's
holds true.
in the 3 projected and Burns 28. They could even match them back up, Tom. Or you could be going to North Surrey, Salisbury, or J.M. Robinson, or maybe even Providence Grove. So there's your projected look at there in the 2A.
West Lincoln, I mean, I give them a lot of credit for this year for how they turned things around. They did end up finishing 4th in the conference, and no playoffs. They just come in at number 39.
Is this the most wins in how long?
Well, since 2016.
Okay, I know it's been a few years. There's your last 4 in, last 4 out, Tom. So it looks like you guys are closer to the staying in than you are getting kicked out.
What helps, in basketball we have the good loss, to Bessemer City a couple times, and they played them hard in the second round of the tournament.
Well, they use their record, not really what. So Bessemer's like 20-4 or something like that. So that goes big time into that.
So that's the losses to Bessemer were good losses, if there's such a thing. The losses to Shelby were good losses. So
could be looking at a Lincoln Shelby matchup maybe in the 3rd round, something like that. Well, looking at if Burns
in what round?
3rd.
If Lincoln and not.
Well, I know that, Terry. I'm just saying that's.
I mean, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to really say that, but I mean,
Lincoln's a 22 seed.
Yeah,
Lincoln's not going to.
They played the other day, and Maiden beat them 35-34. Was the final.
Well, Shelby doesn't score.
But I mean, I understand
defense.
Yeah.
Shelby's going to get more than 34. I think that's what Terry was saying. Let's see. Let me back up into the we'll do the 3A real quick. That computer's on the might be on the wrong Wi-Fi from the other end of the building, but anyway, I can pull this one up and at least talk about it while that's backing up. Get back, Jack. All right, 3A projections in the boys, and then we'll mention the girls here in a second as well, folks. 3A, that's the East. You'll know who the 1, 2, 3 seeds. South Central, First Flight, West Carteret, Hunt, 71st, Rocky Mount. Took me 6 names before I'd heard of one. All right. 1 seed, the Hickory Red Tornadoes. Are they still Red Tornadoes or just Tornadoes?
I think.
Why couldn't they be the Red Tornado?
I don't know.
Because the clay gets sucked up by the tornado.
Okay. Central Cabarrus is 2, Freedom 3, Crest 4, Inca 5, Franklin 6. Other 3A schools, East Lincoln sitting at the 12, Kings Mountain 14, Stuart Craner 15. Tom, the way Crest has handled Kings Mountain pretty much this season, and Kings Mountain sitting at that 14 seed, should I discount anyone beating the Crest Chargers or any past the 10 seed? Or I've seen Ben L. Smith in person. They beat Kings Mountain a few years back. That's when they had like 5, 6 guys across the board.
Crest is pretty good. I mean, the only talking to Coach Levine, the only thing he'd be worried about is you run into that 3rd or 4th round and you run into that 6'9" guy and you don't have anybody to match up against him. Other than that, athletically,
what's the biggest on Crest? 6'3", 6'4"?
They're not big. I mean, the Peeler kid's probably about 6'3" or 6'4". Seems like they got another kid that, I think his name's Diebler. Maybe he's 6'3" or 6'4". They don't have a lot of height. They just don't have a lot of height. They got some athleticism though. They can make up for it. And the Adams brothers are phenomenal. Yeah. I mean, so he's got a good team. And talking to Coach Levine, what he's really, really pleased with is his defense. I talked to him after the Kings Mountain game, not the championship, but the week before. And he said, Tom, that was a championship level defensive effort in that second half where it was tied at halftime, and then Crest wins by like 21 or 22 points. So it was just a suffocating second half defense, and they do play good defense. And Terry, you're not winning a championship without defense.
That's exactly.
They got
in any sport.
Diebler and Tharrington are 6'3" listed on the roster.
Yeah, they're not
for Crest.
They're not huge. They're not small. Peeler comes in off the bench and gives them good minutes. So I think they're going to get Colic back. He was out with concussion protocol. That'll help him. I don't know if he played last night or not. I know he was in concussion protocol, but Coach Levine has got so much experience. He's like Coach Holyfield at Shelby. These guys have so much experience and basketball knowledge. They add a couple inches to every player. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. So I would not want to go against either one of those guys.
All right, Bedford City girls projected to make the playoffs. Thomas Jefferson projected to make the playoffs. I'm just going to go through those. We're not going to break
Thomas
down.
Jefferson's going to make the playoffs?
Girls, yeah. Now, remember, 1A's got the less schools, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know how that works out with the basketball and stuff. Well,
Burns was on the bubble.
All right, we'll be talking Daytona 500 here next in a minute once I go through these 2A projections. Randleman, let's see, Newton Conover's at 3, East Rutherford 4. They just won their conference. Shelby 5, of course, they won theirs. Defending state champions. Bandy sitting down at 20. Orange Central 25. Bunker Hill 27. Burns has got them in, Tom, at 32.
And that would just be great for Coach Parker and his girls, and I know they'd be up against it. Who would they have to play? Who's the number one? You went too fast. But I'm just telling you.
Randleman. Or Salisbury, Newton Conover, East Rutherford, Shelby, depending on what they come out with.
Yeah, depending on what they come out with. But that'd just be great for Coach Parker. He's worked hard to get those girls into the playoffs, and he was telling me the other day, we're right there at the edge. And I know that's what he's been looking at. Everybody looks at. So that would be great for Coach Parker to get his girls and get them that playoff experience.
All right, folks, we'll be back in just a few minutes. Talk Daytona 500 with Terry Reinhardt, Tom Sinifani. Cousin Zach's out today. He was watching. I got a text from a minute ago. I haven't looked on the comments or anything, but he is out of town this week. He'll be back next week. And before Tom walks, Tom, you have to take the. Is he a rookie?
Oh my Lord! I don't even believe I even was watching that just now. But anyway,
Terry, I didn't have the cameras on. We could have watched Tom about hang himself with a headphone.
Oh my goodness! As long as he's been in here doing this, and he about destroyed himself going up.
Oh goodness!
Oh well.
All right, we'll be back in just a few minutes on KTCBroadcasting.com.
With the consolidation of Hoppers Heating and Air and Shelby Heating and Air, the company is growing by leaps and bounds. And now Shelby Heating and Air is hiring technicians. That's right, they are now hiring service technicians. Get great pay, great benefits, and paid technical training. You can apply online at shelbyheating.com or call their office at 704-487-7877. Your future is waiting for you at Shelby Heating and Air, 1990 Eves Road in Shelby.
Cardinal Quick Stop in Lincoln is your local Citgo service station with the best gas prices around. Stop in and grab you some of the best crunchy chicken in town. $5 fish and shrimp specials, $14.99 family meal, and many more meal deals. Check out their lottery. It is a #1 stop store. Cardinal Quick Stop, 1830 North Aspen Street in Lincoln, open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 11 p.m., Saturday and Sundays, 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. Call 704-240-9795. The Cherryville Golf and Country Club is now having a new membership drive. That's right. If you're not a member, now is the time. It is a 9-hole course that will be expanding to an 18-hole in the near future. Every Friday night, the restaurant, it will be serving the best steaks in town, along with ribs and seafood. And the best thing about the restaurant, it is open to the public. Looking to have a wedding reception, the birthday party, corporate event, Cherville Banquet Room is the best place. Ask Dan about their golf package fundraiser deal. Check their menu out on Facebook. Cherryville Golf and Country Club, 200 Club Drive, Cherryville. Call 704-435-6597.
It's time to play at the Green Meadows Golf Course on Kelly Road in Mount Holly. Play and ride Monday through Friday for $25. Weekends just $30. Seniors ride and play Monday through Friday for $20. And every Wednesday is Ladies' Day. Ladies play and ride for just $15. So make your tee time now by calling the Green Meadows Golf Course, 704-827-9264. Green Meadows Golf Course, 957 Kelly Road in Mount Holly.
Hillbillies Barbecue and Steaks in Lowell are in search of a barbecue eater. That's right, they need barbecue eaters. And if you love barbecue, you'll love Hillbillies Barbecue and Steaks in Lowell. Plus, they have chicken, steaks, ribs, all kinds of sides and salads too. Ask about their office party packs. And they have employment opportunities, including management positions. That's Hillbillies Barbecue and Steaks, 305 South Main Street in Lowell, where it's easy in and easy out. See them today, Hillbillies Barbecue and Steaks. Check out the brand new website of Barrett's Floor Covering in Kings Mountain. Just go to barrettfloorcovering.com. Shop for your new floor. From luxury vinyl to carpet to hardwood, you'll love the selection. Since 1976, Barrett's Floor Covering in Kings Mountain has been serving this area with the finest in floors for homes and businesses. With name brands like Mohawk, Bruce, Armstrong, Mannington, and more. Again, shop online at barrettfloorcovering.com. Barrett's Floor Covering, 150 Dixon School Road in Kings Mountain. Call 704-981-6575.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk. Sorry, I had sneezed and I dropped my headphones, so I was flying blind there for a moment.
Are you guys okay?
I don't know.
Do we have a headphone problem, Terry? Do we need to check
That's
ours?
another one. It about tried to
JP
kill himself.
just
his
spiked his,
headphone.
and they're like Icky Woods.
Well, I sneezed.
You don't know who Icky Woods is, JP, but you did. He sneezed his headphones off his head. Tom tried to
strangle himself.
Pirates of the Caribbean himself.
All right. Reminding our listeners that Shelby Heating and Air is bringing you Saturday Morning Sports Talk, 704-487-7877. Kevin's got the website pulled up here, shelbyheating.com. Lots of coupons, discounts, special offers. If you need a new system, repair or replace, you want a evaluation to help you lower your energy costs, call Shelby Heating and Air. Once again, 704-487-7877. Give them a call today.
Well, it's Daytona time, Terry. One of your favorite weeks of the year.
Yep.
So you should be excited. I should hear no complaints today, right?
Well,
new cars, new teams, new paint jobs. Daytona. And we've already got... Now, Dale Jr. the other day said that with the new car, they were talking about, the old cheat, you ain't cheating if you ain't trying, thing in NASCAR. And they were asking about that. And NASCAR's trying to make everything stock and everybody, use most of the same parts as you can, for the most part. And so yesterday, NASCAR officials have confiscated wheels from Team Penske and RFK Racing at Daytona, took them back to Charlotte, and they were for inspection, and they've had to find new tires and not new tires, new wheels, and well, it is, you got to put your tires back on your wheels and everything. So they swept the victories in Thursday night Blue Green dual vacations. So that's part of this. Now they announced a tougher penalty structure going forward, supposed to be for this year, and because they didn't want team, with the new cars and everything, they don't want them messing with them as much as they used to. They told them what they could mess with. So what they did, Terry, was something with the pinholes in the wheels. I don't know if they drilled bigger ones, smaller ones, or something. But the rules say you can't use something to make your car better, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the language coming out of these two race shops, Penske and RFK, is that they made the changes for safety reasons. So whether you believe that smoke or not, Terry,
I don't.
No.
Thoughts?
No, I don't believe any of that. I mean, we
didn't drill holes in our wheels to make us faster.
No. I mean, anytime I see Brad Keselowski, I believe that anyway. But the other guy, Chris Bouchard's a different story, but I understand cars are going to continue, and your crew is going to continue to try to hunt something. Just tweak it a little.
Keselowski's the owner, so Terry. That's why they were. He's one of the owners. So Busher was one of the drivers. That's especially interesting about the Keselowski. Sorry to interrupt you with mouthful. Keselowski's the owner. That's why he was especially involved in this. Go ahead.
But, I mean, that's just how I look at it, and I do understand. But what are they going to do? They're not going to move them to the back, are they? I mean, are they going to start up in the front? They should move them to the back if you're messing with the stuff that you put on your cars that helped you win this qualifying race. But I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I haven't heard that they're going to move them to the back.
Okay, so I watched a video last night on it. Right now, they're not. They're waiting on any inspection results to come back before the race. That's why they sent them to Charlotte yesterday. Also, right now, they've said they can dock 50 playoff points. They could ban you for a whole race or whole team. They put this in the new rules. Now, the specific rule says tires, and that the defendants are trying to say not this says changes tires, not wheels. And so there's a debate on that. So they said it may not even happen Sunday, Terry, because of the full investigation. It may happen the next week or the next on any penalties going forward on this.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
so
I can
basically
understand,
what they
as
did
long
was,
as you're looking.
So basically what they did was take their modified wheels and said, you've got to put on the ones that we've given everybody else like that. So no modified. So they're technically going to be in the race with no modifications. So that's why they're saying there's no penalty yet. But I don't know where they're going to put them. Like you said with qualifying, I haven't seen that yet. We'll see. Any potential penalties will be determined at a later date after the inspection. NASCAR memo says. So.
Well, I think if you're going to set examples, Tom, this is how I look at it. Yep. You dock them 50. You put them, suspend them all for one race and make you start again. I mean, you show right now, this is what's going to happen if you twinkle with the stuff that we're giving y'all. I mean, why else would you do it? This is a good way, and this would show everybody else this is what's going to happen.
Terry, did you just say twinkle with it?
Yeah.
You mean
tinker?
Well, twinkle.
Tinker, twinkle. Twinkle with it.
I agree almost. The only thing that makes me want to disagree with you is if you don't.
Well, Keselowski's on the pole.
I know.
No,
I didn't know that.
If you don't tinker with if it said tires and you tinkered with the wheels, well,
tires means whatever is associated
no, it does not.
In that area.
No, Terry, it does not.
Yes, it does.
The wheel and the tire are two different things.
The word car is also used in it. I'm saying the defendants are trying to say change the tires in the language, and the NASCAR officials are saying changes to the car.
Oh, okay.
See what I mean? So we're having a lawyer.
Well, there you
we're
go.
having a lawyer argument.
Anything to do with the car.
Well, now that it says
there
that,
you go. Yeah, that's
anything has
anything
to do with the car.
So yes, that they're lawyering they're arguing about it in a trailer somewhere right now, probably about what they're going to do. But Keselowski is on the pole. Cindric second. Blaney, Briscoe, Elliott, Jones, Larson, Reddick, Busch, Chastain, and Suarez. I don't know if it really matters who's on the pole at all, does it, Terry?
Not really. Not in this race.
Kaz Grala is in the race. The biggest name that's now in the. Wait a minute, what was I looking at? Oh, those were finishes. No, he's not on the lead. What am I talking? You messed me up.
It is.
I thought Larson was on it. All right, Larson and Bowman. Keselowski's on the.
But right there's the next two.
There you go. Keselowski and Buescher. That was the argument.
Because those are the two that won the races.
We mixed that up, folks. Sorry.
Larson, Kyle Busch at 10th.
And Bowman. Bowman, did they say 5th or 6th straight Daytona 500 he's qualified front row?
Could be.
I don't know if it's Daytona or Daytona 500, but it's Daytona something 5 in a row or 6 in a row for Bowman qualifying on the front. Then you've got, let's see, a couple of names. That's the one I want to get down here too.
Denny Hamlin's way back.
Qualifying last, Jacques Villeneuve is in the Daytona 500, folks.
But here, if I look at your bottom, Eric Almirola is number 38. Guess what? Austin Dillon, number 36. Move on up to, I guess it would be Denny Hamlin, Cole Custer right there at 30 and 31st. They all have a chance to win this race. That is what I like the best. Whether you're up at the front or whether you're at the back,
whether you're a good driver,
you have an opportunity to win this race.
Win the race.
This ought to be every year, either Daytona, Talladega, restrictor plate, where every driver has an opportunity to win the Busch Clash. Every year.
Oh, you're going back to exhibition races now?
Well, the exhibition, that's
right,
money. It's money.
Yeah, they sold out at the Coliseum.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. 3 liters.
Anyway,
good job.
Joxx, Noah Gragson, Almirola, and BJ McLeod at the end of the field. Kaz Gralla. Now, here's an interesting story talking about parts, Terry. So some of these cars that are going to start the field, they're obviously one-car teams or whatever. So some of them, they've got one backup, basically. The big team's got 2 for the most part. So what they're saying, though, is because of last nights or practices and all the stuff going up in this weekend's, any cars that were wrecked, especially this weekend, Logano, that these big team Toms are now going to be going to them to buy their backup cars.
Yeah.
So just by qualifying, they're going to be able to sell one of their 2 cars that they have for basically double the price that it's worth to one of the bigger teams, and make more on this sale than they might will the whole season just by qualifying for the 500.
Because of the part shortage and all that. Yeah.
The whole car, they're going to sell his whole car, and he can pay it the rest of the season. Basically, it can be paid off if they wanted to, for the most part. So there's a big money move here in this Daytona 500 for these cars that are lacking parts and cars that all just don't have the cars. So
I tell you what, this situation doesn't. People are upset about this stuff, man. It's not just the NASCAR guys that can't find stuff. The ordinary Joe can't find stuff. It's not going very well.
So
right
broadcasting for us, as far as NASCAR this weekend, 1:30 today, we'll have the Lucas Oil 200. At 4:30, we'll have the Beef. That's what's for dinner, 300. And then tomorrow at 1:30 p.m., coverage begins at 1:30 for the Daytona 500. I'll get you green flag times in just a few minutes. That's coverage time for us, 1:30. Probably like 3:30, won't Terry?
I got a feeling it's 3:30.
Yeah, I think it's usually a 2-hour warm up for that. The good news is I think they're going to have a decent weather weekend down there. They've had like 5 or 6 years in a row where it rains in the afternoon in Florida. The summer race is really bad for that. But anyway, Terry, you got any favorites or anything? Any feelings? You boys in 10th, Kyle. Is this one of his type races, or is this somebody else for him? Is he going to be careful not to wreck this car right now? I mean,
this is one of the races that he has not won. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he starts reminding me of Dale Earnhardt. Like, I need this one, and then he'd have victories in every place he's ever been. So, I mean, I'm pulling for Kyle. That's who my driver is. That's who I'm going to pull. But also, when I get to these races, Brad Keselowski's always going to be, I don't like him. Kyle Larson, I have a chance. Joey Logano, he'll have a chance no matter where he's at. Even though he did wreck and start in the back, he's still going to have a chance, So, I mean,
he does a lot of blocking. He gets out front.
I'm going to tell you the stuff that really gets me, though, is how dominant people can be. And I will speak when I spoke of Kevin Harvick. 2 years ago, Kevin Hart was winning all the races. I mean, every time he turned around, he was winning one. But then last year, he fell off and totally off. And will this be the year that Kevin Harvick comes back, to be one of the powerhouses in NASCAR instead of just riding around like Jimmy Johnson did his last couple of years?
I was going to say something about that. As far as what's weird about the sport is, how do you know the difference between not being able to drive as well as you could to not having the right equipment? Jimmy was interviewed a couple of weeks ago, and he really hinted at Terry that he said, I'd like to get back into NASCAR if I was allowed to. That was the words he used. If you remember a year or two ago, right when it was happening, and he had a retirement year with nobody in the stands, and then the next year they marketed it as the best year ever, and then now all of a sudden Alex Bowman's winning races in the same car. I told you I thought they forced him out. I don't think they wanted him winning an 8th championship. I think they like the symmetry of the 7 guys. They can go in the Hall of Fame. They can put them all in the same room. They can honor them all. I just don't think they wanted him to pass Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt. I simply don't. And I think they said, thanks for everything, Jimmy. He's still racing.
Yeah, he is.
He's racing in every car that he can get in. He's racing in Porsche, 4-wheel drive Porsches. He's racing 2 full-time schedules this year in the Formula One and the Supercar schedule. So he's doing double. It's not like he's like, I'm quitting like a lot of these guys do. So it's very fishy. I was saying the other day, he said that I would like to come back to NASCAR if I was allowed to. He used the word allowed. And who's not allowing him? Because it's not his wife, because he's racing supercars. In IndyCar. That's way more dangerous than riding around in these NASCAR Cup cars. So I've had questions on that, and that's what we were talking about. Like, how do you know the difference between falling off or not being good? You seeing pictures. They're talking about Denny Hamlin being booed a lot, and everything, Terry, and watching a video on that, and the Chase Elliott fans, and he said something about he was talking that he basically put down NASCAR fans saying they only want one thing and anything different it makes them mad. He was talking about getting booed and whether he's going to get booed some more this year. So, but I was noticing he's really got a lot of white hair in his face too, and he still ain't got a championship, right? He's always been the bridesmaid, and Jimmy was his nemesis as far as that goes. He's getting to a point there. He's a car owner now. He's getting to the point of being done. But I just don't know. You know, you got Jock Villanueva. He's in the 500. Like, Jimmy couldn't come here for a week. You're telling me Jimmy couldn't just show up on Sunday with a car set up by Hendricks or somebody and drives for somebody? That's just what's weird to me. And they mentioned Hendricks would support or pay for help Kyle Larson if he wanted to do the Indy 500. That was the other thing I wanted to mention about that as well.
I want to mention this. How many is in this? 39?
40.
40.
Yep.
Okay.
Villanueva is 40.
Yeah, but when I was looking at the guys who didn't make it, there's only like one. Two guys. Okay, my whole deal is this. We used to have 43. Yeah, what dropped it to 40 and we're not going to let no more in? We used to have 43 cars out there.
Now, I will say this. The last 4 cars were basically 4 miles per hour slower than the other ones. So,
okay,
2 got cut. I'm just telling you. I know that. I know your point. Just let them all in. I'm just saying that's how far off the pace they kind of are. That's from the back end.
It is
like
so
188
bad.
to 184.
It is so bad here that when you see the Xfinity out there, they had so many cars trying to make that field. I think they cut 5, 6, or 7 that couldn't make it. And plus, they got a whole ton of cars out on the field. And the truck race is the same way. I mean, there are more people in those two sports than they are the NASCAR part. And it bothers me.
Well, that's
because,
about money, you know that.
Oh, yeah, it is. That's got
Cheaper.
a lot to do with it. But I saw Matt what is his last name?
D.
Benedetto. Yeah, D. Benedetto. Yeah, there you go. But he was out there last night in the truck race. You know, I mean, has he fallen that he cannot make the big race with anybody else? Nobody's giving him a chance.
Well, I'm going to pull up the schedule for this weekend here. Let's see. We'll do the TV schedule. Trying to find the paint schemes. They usually post those. I don't see that. Let's see. Today, if you want to know what's going on in racing, there's midnight stuff from last night enlisted on there. Coverage starts, final practice, right as soon as we go off the air, so you guys can, if you want to watch that, you can practice for the Cup. Xfinity Series qualifying is 11:30 today, 1 p.m. Race Hub. 1:30 is the Lucas Oil 200. You can listen to that. KTC Broadcasting, WCSL 1590 AM, 92.3 FM, KTCBroadcasting.com. NASCAR Race Day Xfinity at Daytona is at 4 o'clock. The Beef What's for Dinner, 5 o'clock start, and the post-race show is on that tomorrow. Let's see if they listed, Terry. Daytona 500, 1 p.m. coverage, 2:30. Cup Series Daytona 500. So coverage starts for us at 1:30. It looks like a 2:30 possible start for that. I'll check on that specifically. That's TV coverage starts at 2:30. So you probably are right then. MRN coverage starts at 1:30. So radio at 1:30. TV. I'll pull up Green Flag as soon as I can find that as well. Tom, favorites, picks.
I'm going to make Terry mad and say Keselowski's going to get away with this, and he's going to win.
He probably might do it.
He's going to cheat his way to this.
He's going to cheat his way to the
As long as they didn't let him have them tires back and everything that he's fixed.
Penske's been around a long time. They'll probably give him a pass. They've been around long. I remember when Rusty Wallace was racing for him. They've been around for a long time.
It's saying 2:30. So plan for a 2:30 start. We'll hope for 2:30 start for
Daytona
for the Green Flag. Yeah, 500.
That is a little late. I don't know why they don't start at noon. Seemed like noon would be a good time.
West Coast.
It's going to be done.
Get them out of church.
Number one, who goes to church in California? Who goes to church in California?
Scientologists.
Okay. No, they're having their avocado toast and latte at 9 a.m. sitting on their back porch saying how Midwestern snow is somebody else's problem. So, I mean, I just don't understand why we cater to the West Coast the way we do. They can get up and watch it. They can get up in the morning. I remember when I was out in Oregon one time visiting my buddy, I remember I got up. It was just weird. You get up, it's like 10 o'clock in the morning. There's a football game on. It's pretty cool.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait till like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You know how it is, Terry, on Sunday.
Yep.
Doesn't wind up till about 7:30. I mean, man, it's time to go back to work. And then the primetime game comes on at 5. Now, you're done watching football by 8. You've seen it all.
You've seen every bit.
So the way I see it is they already have an advantage. Why are we? The Super Bowl is what really gets under my skin, too. They'll start the Super Bowl at 6:30, Terry. 6:30 on a Sunday.
Has to be 4 o'clock.
Should be 4, yes.
4
And that way, all the folks, all the good folks out in California, all our tofu buddies out there, they can watch at 1 o'clock.
They
They
have a
watch at 1
chance to
o'clock.
go to a church and everything and be back home.
They don't go to church.
College national championships need to be on Saturdays, not Monday. That's ridiculous that they
Well,
play
they
on Mondays.
still trying to push for Saturday for Super Bowl, you know.
Yeah, there was
that would be bad.
Yeah.
But the colleges, there's no reason. Everyone's goes to class the day after. It's a Monday, and the day of.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that might.
And they play on Saturdays.
Yeah.
They play on Saturdays.
Well,
Let's play on Monday
the
night.
college basketball championship.
Yeah,
is on
same
a
thing.
Monday.
Both
Yeah.
of them. Right.
Yeah.
So you have to. Nobody goes to school the next day. All right. Upset alert for anybody, Terry, there in the top 10 that you would like to see win or upset before we go.
Be careful with Eric Jones. I mean, he's a decent driver up at the front.
Hey,
so.
that's going to be my pick, and that's who I'm choosing for. The 43 in Victory Lane. This is one of the chances that
Be
he
careful.
can get. You're right, Talladega. Keep it on the track. 43. They've had some runs. They just hadn't finished it off. You know, they're the random finishes and stuff you have. I like that, Terry. That's gonna be my pick and favorite. I want to see the 43 back in Victory Lane in NASCAR. Tom, any pick? You said Keselowski.
I went with Keselowski. I think they're going to give him a pass. I think that they're going to go with the safety. So, all right, y'all don't do it again.
All righty. Well, we'll be back. In
Keep
just a
your
few,
trophy.
Y'all don't do that again.
We'll be back in just a few minutes. KTCBroadcasting.com.
Here's some good news. It's 2 for 1. 2 good companies have now become one great company. Hopper Heating and Air and Shelby Heating and Air have combined their businesses to become Shelby Heating and Air. David Hopper invites you to call on them for all of your heating and air conditioning needs with name brands like Carrier and Goodman, plus complete service and repair. Shelby Heating and Air and Hopper Heating and Air. Now one. Call 704-487-7877 today. Don't let bad plumbing drive you plumb crazy. Call the plumbing experts. That's Olmsted Plumbing in Forest City. Sure, they can clean your drain or even do a camera inspection for sewer line and replacement. But did you know they have water treatment systems and water heaters? From residential to commercial, they do it all. Give them a call at 828-245-7302, 828-245-7302. And they also have employment opportunities. Call Olmsted Plumbing at 828-245-7302 and like them on Facebook too. What a deal on a 2004 Buick LeSabre Custom. Now just $64.95 at Oak Grove Auto Sales, Service, and Body Shop. And it is only 90,000 miles. Luxury options and one owner. Or how about a big 2011 Chevrolet Suburban LTZ 1500, priced at $29.95. 4x4, towing package and seating up to 9. See them today at Oak Grove Auto Sales, Service, and Body Shop, 522 Oak Grove Road, Kings Mountain. Online at oakgroveauto.com. See their page at whatsupshopper.com and like them on Facebook too. Warmer weather means hotter cars, and the hottest selection of muscle cars are waiting for you at Iconic Motor Company of Shelby. Chevy Corvettes, Dodge Chargers, Chevrolet Camaros, Dodge Challengers, Ford Mustangs, and more. Shop online at iconicmotorcompanyofshelby.com. Click on and get approved in seconds. It's time to ride at Iconic Motor Company of Shelby, 325 West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, and see their page at whatsupshopper.com. Francis Brothers Used Cars, now in their 53rd year in business, has proudly served the people of Cleveland and Rutherford counties since 1969 with a great selection of nice buy here, pay here cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. Don, Bino, and Casey invite you to check out their inventory. They look forward to helping you get your next vehicle and offering oil changes, OBD inspections, brake work, shocks, axles, and CV joints in their service center. Francis Brothers Used Cars and Service Center, 134 North Main Street, downtown Bowling Springs. See them for your next automotive buy or service.
Thanks for help bringing the economy back. one local purchase at a time.
Kind of uplifts you and you feel better.
It's the greatest comeback of all time.
Shop local with whatsupshopper.com, Carolina Country, and the Boss.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin and the guys. They just finished with the NASCAR. Guys, on
Jared Allen.
There you go.
Yeah, they better have. All right, we'll talk about that in just a little bit. What'd you say, JP?
Oh, I just welcomed y'all, the listeners, back, and then I kind of said, they just finished talking about NASCAR, and now they're moving on to something else.
Yep, Shelby Heating and Air.
Shelby Heating and Air. Give them a call, 704-487-7877. If you need a new system, you need your system replaced, maybe fixed, you want a evaluation of your energy bills too high, they can probably come in there and tell you why, Terry, and get you fixed up. So they even do some healthier home stuff, and I would say that's probably coming in, checking your air quality, thinking, maybe you need some air filters or whatever in your home. So they can pretty much do whatever you need them to do, make sure you're comfortable in your home. So give them a call, 704-487-7877. Kevin's showing you coupons.
Yeah.
They got $200 off installation, 15% off a programmable thermostat, and other offers online that run through the end of March. So give them a call. Once again, 704-487-7877. Those are 2 good years for you, 78 and 77, Terry. I'm sure. Weren't you a senior in high school back then, Terry?
Close.
Prom king? Had a senior class?
Yeah.
President?
Yeah.
Lincoln at high school?
Yeah.
Well, give them a call. They'll take care of you.
All right, a few minutes on Major League Baseball today. We got to talk Guardians baseball today. You ready for that, Tom?
The team formerly known as the Indians.
So you're going Prince on that. That's cool. That's not a bad idea. We can go Prince on that. Team formerly known as the Cleveland Indians. That's not really what I want to talk about. I just want to give Tom a little bit of see if he's excited about his Guardians. Let's see. The spring training has been delayed till March 5th. That's kind of a big news.
Herself, y'all.
That kind of not. We'll see what happens with that. Now, here's the thing that I wanted to get into for a few minutes and get your thoughts. I know you two. I don't know if you two care how y'all feel since y'all are American League fans, but the designated hitter is now in the National League. And baseball is becoming more and more. I think they should have less people on the roster and more people that pitch and play defense like Shohei Ohtani. And instead of we got a closer, now that guy's in the Hall of Fame. Now we got a setup man, now that guy's in the Hall of Fame. Then we got a long reliever, now that guy's in the Hall of Fame. Now we got a DH, that guy. Every position needs Hall of Famers now. We keep making positions and giving people positions. It drives me crazy that people think that David Ortiz is just as good as a baseball player. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame, and Barry Bonds isn't.
I went back, and I'm glad you brought all this up, because I went back and we come out with the 100 best Major League Baseball players of all time.
Was you not here when we discussed that? We talked about like a week or two ago.
Might have been.
Was that the week where you were gone?
Might have been.
Okay, we did. So go ahead. Say what you want to say.
Yeah,
you're 100% fine.
But here's my deal. When you take 5, 6, 7% of the top 100 Major League Baseball players of all time, and none of them are in the Hall of Fame, I think Major League Baseball is making it a disgrace. Because I find it hard to believe that and as we speak, a Pete Rose, a Roger Clemens, a Barry Bonds, and we could keep naming players who are not part of the Hall of Fame, but you are top 100 of the Major League Baseball players of all time. And, and people set back. I don't think we've ever got to 20,000 yet, players of all time yet. That's coming up. If it didn't happen last year, I don't think we've got to 20,000 that have ever played the game anyway.
Yeah.
All time. So, when you take the top 100 and then you have to eliminate some of those because we don't think they should be in the Hall of Fame, I think baseball should shut down. And I'm going to continue to say this, shut down the Hall of Fame because it's not worth going to. I'm not going. if your number one hitter's not in there, if your number one home run hitter's not in there. I mean, I'm just not going to it to see it.
I think there was somebody interviewed the other day, one of these players, and they were like, they were complaining about that they know players in the Hall of Fame. Might have been, it wasn't Canseco. He of course he said it all the time as far as you've got people in there already that are already users that we all know, and I think it was the article I was read was even defending how McGuire and them, whatever they did wasn't against the rules in the game at the time, that you could buy it at GNC. So they would go to GNC and buy these it was all these powders, creatine, whatever you're taking, and then but the other ones, the Bonds and the Ortiz, the arguments was they were going to labs and getting whatever kind of, this wasn't over the counter basically. So that was the issues with those. But again, where do you draw the line? We've talked about that. Terry, that list I brought it up on the screen for you to look at. This of course I brought it up because of this. They had Mike Trout at 15th best player of all time. They barely had Ken Griffey Jr. ahead of him at this time. So I put, Trout's played 11 years. So I put up his 11 years versus Pujols' 11 years in St. Louis. Do you know where they had Pujols on the list? 30. They had Derek Jeter and A-Rod ahead of Pujols.
Yeah, they were ahead of him.
They had Pujols at 30. Now look at these numbers. Now when I say, I want y'all to say the name or say count for me these numbers. Who's better? These is just straight up same number of years. Trout 305, Pujols 328. Pujols 445 home runs, Trout 310. 130 more. Look at the RBIs, almost double, 1,300 to 800. The doubles are almost doubled as well, 268 to 455. There's 4. Hits, 600 more hits. That's 5. Runs, 300 more runs. How about strikeouts? Mike Trout, the only thing he beats Pujols in, he struck out 500 more times than Albert Pujols did in the same number of years. 500. Slugging percentage, Pujols. Walks, that's Mike Trout's best stat. Still Pujols. Gold Gloves, 2 for Albert Pujols, none for Trout, 2 World Series. What in that, Terry, tells me that he is better than Albert Pujols?
Nothing. If you throw it up or not have names beside them, everybody that's in the room is going to go with the bottom instead of your top.
Even the WAR that they make an argument about, Albert has more WAR than him at this point. Even their favorite number WAR. So those lists are just absolutely insane and stupid. Now the Hall of Fame, who do you think do you think we should change whose votes for the Hall of Fame? Because right now it's the writers. Do you take it away from them and give it to the organizations and the players, and how do you do that?
I think you just said it right there. I think the players should have some input. They would know. Former managers, they would know. People who know something about baseball.
What if only major league players of 5 years of service or 10 years of service get to vote? You get 10 years of service, you get a Hall of Fame vote.
Because you hear about players who played on the field with other players, even ones they didn't like. There was that respect because they know the ability more than others.
Okay, so right. So should Jeff Kent get a vote as opposed to Bob Costas?
I would say yes.
And that's my argument. A lot of these athletes are a lot of times that we played, we know who should be in the Hall of Fame.
Who did Bob Costas play for?
Nobody.
Well, exactly my point, right? Who did Bob Costas play for? I can't remember. What was his batting average?
Yeah,
I can't remember. That's what I'm talking about, Kevin. I mean, these little nerdy guys that got their journalism degree. I mean, that's fine. I mean, I'm kind of the guy on the radio who didn't really play a whole lot. That's fine, but I'm not here telling you who the best of all time was. Well, like a lot of these guys that have never, I mean, they look like they could read a book or push a pencil, but they don't look like they could play a game.
Well, so, tell me this. I know there's a lot of sports writers and stuff like this who vote, but could it be one of those situations like you're not going to get 100% if somebody from Los Angeles forgot to turn his in? Had to have him in by this date, and he didn't turn his in. So, well, guess what? You're not 100% today.
It's kind of dumb.
I don't. Yeah.
A lot of things they do is just dumb.
So Tom, I was kind of leading in before you got to sit down and talking about this. The DH is now coming to the National League, and I'm not a fan of it.
I am. I disagree with you. I think that you're kind of like a staunchly purist on this, and I've told you numerous times, nobody pays to see a pitcher hit.
Right, but you see a little differently in that. My is I pay to see Shohei Ohtani hit. I would rather have 20
one guy.
I don't know. Wait a minute. Almost
Madison
all of these
Bumgarner.
I was gonna say, almost all
Two
of these
guys.
Tom, almost all of these
Okay, we
pitchers.
start naming now.
Almost all of these pitchers, true or false, were most likely one of the best 2 hitters on their high school team.
Okay.
Again,
Keyword, high school.
I know. But Tom, they don't just stop being good hitters because they're not good hitters. They stop being good hitters because they never swing again. So what I'm saying is this: I would rather see the game shift to more of smaller roster and more players like Ohtani, so we have less closers, less relievers. Why do we need 13 relievers in a 9-inning ball game? That's what's on the roster. They don't have to use them. They never do. But why do we need that? So my point is, I would rather see smaller rosters and more players that can do more things. The people like David Ortiz, I don't even think he should be in the game. If you can't play defense, you're not a baseball player. What are you? I don't get it. There's no other sport. You got the kickers, I guess, but they at least get hit. Yeah, sometimes. But the DH just blows my mind that a DH can get in the Hall of Fame, and then the other guys, like Terry says, the Pete Roses, the Barry Bonds, they actually play a sport, that play the game that they're not in.
You know what's weird about Ortiz? He hit 54 home runs in 2006, and then never hit more than 40 again. The next highest total was 38, and he hit that in his last year. That's weird, isn't it, Terry? I mean, that's just weird.
I got a weird one for you. How many times has Barry Bonds hit 50 home runs?
Probably 6.
Once.
Only once?
The year he hit 73.
Really?
Never hit 50 again.
I would have thought he did it 5 or 6 times.
Nope.
Home runs he did.
Nope.
Well, maybe over 40 times. How many times?
He did that.
He did that.
Maybe that's what I'm. But in my brain. But it seemed. Yeah.
But again, that's our argument about why he wasn't a home run hitter, is because that's not what he wasn't banging 50 like McGuire and Griffey were. Griffey and McGuire the year before hit 55 and 56.
Yeah.
Bonds didn't do that ever, and then all of a sudden 73.
Yeah. Wow.
He jumped from 46 to 73 and back to 40. I think it was 48 or 49 the year next year. But he not twice did he hit 50.
Out of ball contact, man.
It's weird. That's weird.
He
got really good that one year, huh?
He got way more focused.
It was unbelievable watching. Yeah, it was. But the DA, the DA, as far as I'm concerned, you're okay, Tom. Nobody pays to come watch that. But you've got name more than 1 or 2 DHs that someone has ever come to pay to watch. Like Ortiz. Has anybody ever paid to come watch Edgar Martinez?
Sure. I
Right.
liked Eddie Martinez.
He was always, the 5th best player on his team?
But you liked
But
him.
I'm just saying, your point about that
He's
is
a good guy.
But again,
sometimes.
I just like to see more players in that. The DH, I have a thing of you not playing the game and just walking up there and hitting. And then for me just someone who played shortstop, for you to tell me the fat guy over there, the only reason he's good is because he's heavy enough when he hits the ball, it goes further than I do, that he's a better baseball player than I am.
Yeah, I know.
You understand
talking,
what I'm saying?
Completely. Yeah,
Omar Vizquel should be in the Hall of Fame before David Ortiz, in my opinion.
Because he was, how many Gold Gloves did that guy
real
win?
baseball player.
Yeah, he's a real baseball. I mean,
I think he was one of the, how many are there? Like 6 guys that have had been a DH more than they have playing the field.
Yeah. See, I don't disagree with anything you guys are saying about the Hall of Fame. If you're a DH, you shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. I 100% agree. Because
why?
You should, if you're going to be in the Hall of Fame, you should have played a position because you're a complete baseball player.
But I am the best at what I do.
I
do
agree with Kevin.
you want kickers and punters? Do you want kickers and punters in the Hall of Fame?
There's a punter.
And how many? I know there's 1 or 2,
punter.
but how
That's
many?
what I'm saying.
Should a punter be in the Hall of Fame? No. A field goal kicker? Maybe.
Yes. Why should a punter not be in? I think every position
Terry, I was
deserves
a punter. I was a punter.
Long snappers?
I think every position needs one that's in the Hall of Fame.
Isn't that nice? Does everybody get a piece of candy, too, when they come to the Hall of
Why
Fame?
would you have the NFL
Terry,
Hall of Fame if you don't have a punter in it?
Because they're not that important.
All right, Terry, with that,
they're taking it out of the game. People are going for it on
Does
fourth
that
down.
then disqualify Romo as a Hall of Fame kick holder? So you got a better chance of getting as a quarterback or a kick holder. You want every position in, I'm guessing, quarterbacking, right?
Well, it'd be the quarterback.
Well, who's the
for
greatest
him.
kick? Who's the greatest kick
Yeah.
holder of all time?
I mean,
That's how I feel about David Ortiz. He's a kick holder.
Name me another great punter besides Ray Guy, Terry.
George Blanda.
George Blanda.
Yeah.
He was a quarterback, Terry.
Yeah, he was also
He
a punter.
he punted on the side.
I can't believe
that
you
was
didn't
his
say-
side hustle.
He set
that
you
was
up.
his radio gig.
He set you up to answer Danny White, and you didn't say it.
Both those
You
guys.
had Danny White right there, Terry.
Oh, I had no Danny White on my list.
You had
it is
Danny
the
White
most-
right there.
So sometimes it's like I think Terry's sobering up, and then he'll say something so dumb.
No, that's not dumb.
Yes, it is dumb for a punter to be in the Hall of Fame is dumb.
No.
Dumb.
So one thing is okay. So as American, you're right, Tom. So you'd rather see a DH hit than the pitcher. So one consequence that is of that's why you do have the more relief pitchers because you don't have guys in the National League. Everybody on that bench might hit today or play today. In the American League, that doesn't happen. And then let's get another closer. Let's get another long reliever. Let's get another pitcher. Let's do this.
And they're all throwing. See, what's hurting baseball too is they're all throwing so hard and chunky. I mean, it's harder to score. I don't know what's the average runs. I'd be interested to see what the average runs in a major league game have
Well, they
done.
mess with the ball. and all
Probably
that
3 or
stuff,
4.
too.
Yeah,
That's what I would
I'd
say.
like to see their game. You know, they need a little bit more excitement in the major league.
Not
game.
really.
I think
About
they do.
defense.
In 2021, the average
Don't
is
sell tickets, man. Unless it's a great, outstanding play from your shortstop.
in 2021 the average is 4.47 runs,
There you go.
more than a run higher than it was in 1968.
Okay, so
It's
there's
lower than the
Well, you're getting what you
465 or
want, Tom.
483 in 2019, but on par with 2018.
I guess it just seems
Of the
that
20 seasons from 2001, 13 were higher scoring than 2000.
because I guess because the kind of as football is taken over and it's a faster and basketball, then you watch baseball. It just seems maybe they're not scoring as much.
So-
it's moving
So,
slower.
so to me, baseball has taken the basketball approach. We're still scoring the same number of runs, but instead we're hitting home runs.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah,
It's the same number of runs, like
Yeah.
in basketball. We're all shooting threes. We're all shooting. You
Yeah.
don't got the same number of times, the same number of innings. We're all shooting threes. We're all scoring the same number of runs. But in baseball, we're hitting home runs and striking out and walking. And in basketball, we're jacking up threes every play and not playing defense. So it's the same score. So it's two totally different brands, and they're trying to sell you it is better, and they had to change it to different when the game was okay. Probably all of them in the 90s where they were.
So I guess
Well, I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
Would you rather, and Kevin can answer this too, would you rather go to a baseball game and it lasts 2 hours and 45 minutes when I'm sitting here watching a pitcher almost throwing a perfect game? Or would you rather go watch a baseball game where the final score is 19-18, the pitcher don't give a darn where he throws it, they're hitting it out of the ballpark, and it takes 4.5 hours to 5 hours to finish the game? I'm not crazy. I want to see the guy that every pitch means something that he throws because he's getting ready to pitch a perfect game here.
Okay.
That's different. Perfect game is different from the.
Well, no,
average,
you're telling me you want to go watch the 19-18 game. It takes 5 hours to play.
No, I didn't say that.
That's what you're telling
No,
me.
I didn't say that. I said more. I didn't say ridiculous. That's like saying I want a little. It's like saying I want some salt on my burger, so you take the top off the salt shaker and dump it on. There's your salt. That's
Terry
your
went to a
analogy.
little extreme.
Yeah, it takes it to the extreme. I would like to see a little more, a little bit faster pace. It's just hard to do in baseball. It's just
okay.
It's hard to do.
So proposal. I know this is awful, but if you're going to play 162 games, and I don't like all the relief pitching, and how about take off the DH, 7 innings?
That wouldn't hurt my feelings. For
That
a
wouldn't
7-8
hurt
game.
nothing.
Your starters would go longer. You wouldn't need as many relievers. Then you can use your bench for hitting in the
Right.
late innings. You
Yeah.
don't need the DH early on. If you want to take your pitcher out in the 3rd, 4th inning, whatever. But I don't know. I
If you
I
did
like
that,
9-inning
though-
baseball. I like it, but I don't like all these. I like seeing the starters late in the games. I really do. I like seeing the guys getting to 7th, 8th, 9th inning and
That's
toughing it out.
the guy who started.
Right.
Yes.
As opposed to we're going to pitch 4 or 5. Now,
Now,
if
Kansas
I've
City
got
won a
tw-
championship because they had a set segment.
Now,
of theirs.
again, if I got 12 pitchers and I'm a coach, I would almost rather go. You're going 3, then we'll do
Tampa
the rest.
Bay did
every
that.
game.
Tampa Bay
Every
did
game.
that. Yeah, that's Tampa Bay did that.
Well, that's how.
Then you keep
7th, 8th, and 9th.
You keep costs
Different
down.
Yeah, but everybody does, they call it a bullpen game. It's like when you got an issue with a starter or whatever. Okay, we're going to do a bullpen game. It seems to work.
That's all.
pretty
All
good.
that's Tony Relusa's fault.
Yeah.
All right, JP, we got to take a quick break. Come back and we'll finish up. We'll get Terry's thoughts on the Super Bowl, and me and Tom will finish up with some basketball and more on KTCBroadcasting.com.
With the consolidation of Hopper's Heating and Air and Shelby Heating and Air, the company is growing by leaps and bounds. And now Shelby Heating and Air is hiring technicians. That's right, they are now hiring service technicians. Get great pay, great benefits, and paid technical training. You can apply online at shelbyheating.com or call their office at 704-487-7877. Your future is waiting for you at Shelby Heating and Air, 1990 Eves Road in Shelby. Well, another big truck has arrived at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center in Shelby. This time it was filled jam-packed with scratch and dented refrigerators. All kinds, all styles. The showroom is full. The warehouse is full. There is one there just for you. And listen to this. These refrigerators come with a full 1-year warranty. Come get yours today at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center. Online at HendrickAppliance.com, located at 1241 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. On the right going down, on the left coming back.
The Tar Heels
Here comes Carolina.
are here.
One dribble. Goes back up and scores.
Catch the 6-time national champion Tar Heels in action.
Right down the lane. What a tough pass. Pulls up at the elbow. Has his shot pinned against the glass.
All season long.
Back to Caleb for the tomahawk. Hello.
Right here on your home for Carolina basketball.
That was fancy.
The Tar Heels Sports Network from Learfield.
You're listening to the Wolfman Jack.
I tell you, when I was a little kid, I was brought up listening to Alan Freed.
Wolfman Jack.
When I was just getting started, the hip thing was to say, "What's happening, Jack?" "Hey, Jack, what's going on?" So that was the hip slang, So being a horror classic freak like I am, I chose the Wolfman because it was a very animal-sounding name, and the name Jack because of the hip slang. What's happening, Jack? Because Jack always knew what was happening. You understand what I mean?
Wolfman Jack.
Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday mornings, 10 a.m. to 12 noon on The Balls. WHS Shelby, online at KTCBroadcasting.com. Check out the great furniture deals for your home at Kurt's Premium Outlet in Eastridge Mall in Gastonia. Like a Crispin bar table and 4 chairs for $650. A Heston counter table and 2 chairs for $395. Bunk beds, $250. Kurt's has a Derby sofa and Chase lounge set for $10.99. Glider rockers for $5.99. And an assortment of pillows, $6.95. Kurt's Premium Outlet, Eastridge Mall on North New Hope Road in Gastonia. Like them on Facebook, too. Classic Volkswagen of Gastonia announces 1.9% APR financing for 60 months during the Volkswagen President's Day sale. Again, get 1.9% APR financing for up to 60 months. Hey, that's not all. You can also get 1.9% financing up to 60 months on selected pre-owned vehicles, too. Come check it all out today and drive away from Classic Volkswagen of Gastonia. Located at 4417 Wilkinson Boulevard in Gastonia. Online at ClassicVWGastonia.com.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin and the guys. They're talking. We're doing the Super Bowl now.
Well, before we do the Super Bowl, we need to
Shelby Heating and Air, yeah.
We need to remind our listeners about Shelby Heating and Air. Give them a call, 704-487-7877 for all your heating and air needs. Thank you to Shelby Heating and Air for making Saturday Sports Talk possible. Kevin.
Super Bowl.
Actually, I think this is the first Super Bowl. Well, while I've actually worked here, I actually got wrong.
It might be, JP.
If I remember correctly.
It might be. We'll have bad picks up in a few minutes.
Why is he having to tell us that?
I don't know.
I was just wondering. I mean, it's kind of weird. Every other year, I'm placed first. I don't know why, but still. I'm actually kind of glad I lost this year.
That makes a lot of sense.
We're glad you lost too, JP.
Reminds me of that episode of South Park where both teams are trying to lose because neither one wants to go to the playoffs next week. So we're
That's
trying
a
to
great
lose
one.
again.
Those
The Bengals, as the great Trent Marty says, they found a way to Bengal that game. They Bengaled it. Of course, the ref kind of bangled it for him too on that joke holding call. That was, if they didn't call that, that was going to be no. They let a lot go, Terry. If you're going to let them play, let them play. Don't. What do they tell you as a baseball umpire? Don't sit there and call it 3 inches off the plate and then tighten up in the last inning.
Yeah, that's true. I agree there.
I mean, that's what you get yelled at, right? Oh, that wasn't.
But now one of the Bengals touchdowns.
One
One of the Bengals touchdowns was when Ramsey got his whole head ripped around, and nobody called that.
Yeah, that ball that definitely should have been called. And Ramsey got up and looked. It was kind of incredulous.
Like, what are you doing?
I believe the NFL's and football in general's biggest issue is the pass interference, defensive holding, what to call, when to call. It's very, Terry, it almost feels like a youth league basketball, to where it's so judgmental about what they see, when they call it, and what. I used to think they were the best rules ever. It was simple to understand. As the DB, the rules used to be balls in the air, can't touch them. Balls in the air, balls in his hand.
That's not the rule now.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That used to be the rule. Balls in the air, can't touch them. Balls in his hands, do what you want. Obviously, no holding and face masking, right? Yeah. But you could push them, hit them, whatever. It's football. Now you can throw a pass to a guy. 1 minute you'll see a shirt tug, and it'll be 3rd and 23. And that's an automatic first down on 5 yards.
I don't like that.
Then the next play, they throw it up in the corner. The DB face guards the guy, grabs an arm. He only has one hand to catch it with, and they don't call that. They just call it play and defense. Now, how can I tug your shirt barely a little on the other side of the field and it be a first down, but I can face guard you and hit you out of the ball? They let them get away with so much. I'm not arguing with DBs or either way. I'm saying the rule is so terrible that I don't think the players have any idea what they're going to call. They just play defense and hope they don't call it. Well, because it used to be when the ball's in the air, I can't touch him. And when he gets there, I hit the ball. That's simple. It's the most simple thing ever. And now I can touch him. I can't. When I can't, it's hard for me to watch it and know what I think the rules are and should be, and then say, I don't know if I can play and do that, because you don't know. Yeah. Because you got to know the rules to know what to take advantage of. Like I was talking with Terry earlier. If I know you can travel or double dribble, then I can play defense a different way. And the same thing as playing DBs. And I think they have a huge problem with that. The 5 yard automatic first down is the worst call or worst penalty.
What's holding on the offense? 10 yards, redo the down. Why isn't it the same thing on the defense?
5 yards to redo the down. And if you get the first down, it's a first down.
Yeah.
Like if it's 3rd and 3. But 5 yards replay third down or 10 yards replay third down.
I would say a 10-yard penalty because you want to discourage it, because that does, if you hold them, it really does change. But, if it's 3rd and 23 and a 5-yard penalty gets you a first down, that's just.
But see, the thing about it is, Tom, it used to be if the ball's in the air and I hold you and you're on the other side of the field, that holding would be called pass interference, spot foul right there on that guy, as opposed to a 5-yard automatic. Yeah. So they had, like I said, I thought that all that was perfect. And then they started junking around with it, and they started doing it, Terry. You know when? When the Patriots shut down Peyton Manning. They said, we can't have these guys, Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne's out there whining about getting touched 10 yards down the field by Ty Law. And they said, we can't have this anymore. Let's try to play basketball with it. So they tried to change the rules, and now nobody knows what the rule is. And this is all the Belichick's and Patriots' fault, because they wanted Peyton Manning to be the, if you don't remember, they wanted Peyton Manning to be the king of the world. And it didn't work out that way, but I just don't like that, like how that's went as far as that goes. Now, as far as that game, Terry, Tom says Bengals going to Bingle. Y'all all picked the Bengals. I can't believe y'all did that.
I remember what you said. I remember what you said. At the end of it, you said, well, since all y'all did that, I'm going the opposite.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Bengals,
made me feel way better about that.
Especially when OBJ
I also said I'm going with the science, that they're a better team.
Well, here's the problem. You got one guy. You got Cooper Kupp. Okay, Higbee, out. OBJ, out. Who's their guy? Cooper Kupp. Come on. You know where the ball's going. Come on. Yeah. I mean, and just give credit to Cooper Kupp. He ate him alive. But at the same time, Terry, come on. You got one guy. You got one guy, and he killed you.
He did.
I mean, that's shame on the Bengals defense. And, and somebody, I was listening to some of the big talking heads, and I agreed with them that this may be it for the Bengals because, really, Terry, they weren't that good, and the Steelers, Roethlisberger, let's face it, Roethlisberger's old, Steelers weren't that good. Mayfield's out most of the years. Browns had a ton of injuries. And they got beat by the Browns twice. Baltimore, Lamar Jackson was hurt. I mean, the stars lined up. Who else wins a playoff game on the road when you get sacked 9 times?
Yeah.
I mean, I think the stars kind of lined up for the Bengals, and they had their chance and blew it. I don't know if they can get back there. I mean, I don't know.
Like
they better draft
before.
well. They better draft
well.
well.
I think y'all were talking about it last week or week before.
Carson Palmer.
When you was talking about that, hey, with them going to have to give him lots of money, they're going to be players you're not going to be able to get now.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be tough. Well, see, they got Burrow on that rookie contract for a couple more years, so they don't have to pay him a ton of money just yet.
Not yet, but it's coming.
And plus, with that knee history, we saw what, OBJ tears his knee again. I mean, they're talking about him retiring. But I'm just saying that once you have an injury history, that makes you less valuable. That's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
And when he grabbed that knee in the Super Bowl, when Joe Burrow went down and grabbed that knee, I was like, oh, gosh, here we go again. But that wasn't the knee that he hurt. So fortunately for him, but, Cincinnati, let's see if they invest in offensive linemen. I mean, they're, as Kevin says, I'm going to steal his name, matadors. They're definitely some matadors for the Bengals who can't block a lick. And one of them's Ohio State, Isaiah Prince. I'd really like to see Isaiah Prince do well, but I'm going to tell you, that offensive line, if I was Joe Burrow, I'd be like, look, give me an offensive line or I want out of here. I mean, I'm not staying here to get killed. I'm not going to do that. So, we'll see. I think the AFC North is interesting next year. Let's see what the Pittsburgh do at quarterback. Is Lamar Jackson going to be the same? He's had some injuries. Cleveland, chaos has returned to Cleveland as it always does. So it'll be interesting to see, but I think the Bengals, the stars lined up for them. They shouldn't have been there. They got there. They blew it. I mean, it's Cooper Kupp. Now, Cooper Kupp's good, but is he that good, Kevin? Is he that good? I mean,
maybe
is he
Matthew
that good?
Stafford's that good.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's your clue because, I mean, he was receiving yards, total yards. I mean, he did it all, receptions.
You know what? I didn't even see because when I turned it off. Did Kupp or Stafford get the MVP?
Kupp
got
it. Kupp got it. That's what I thought. Okay. It's either Kupp or if you didn't give it to either one of those, you had to give it to Aaron Donald because he was just like a man possessed on that last defense.
That's what some people were arguing about.
Yeah, Aaron Donald, you could have made a pretty good argument.
Couple had 2 receiving touchdowns. He also got that 4th down run and got a first down. So
you have to give it to who else that was helping out Aaron Donald. I can't remember the guy's name. Was 94 for the Rams, but they were good analysis. Like when he's in the game, he can't run the ball. I mean, it was can't remember the name of that defensive tackle that they had, but Rams defense really did step it up there.
Terry Von Miller and
Von
Beckham,
Miller had a good game.
Do they come back next year, or are there's just a 1-year deal with them? Or?
I think Beckham's going to TV. That's where
How
he
does
needs
that
to
work?
go. Just go to TV.
I don't know. The question is also, Aaron Donald had hinted that he might retire as well. Matthew Stafford isn't young. Well, I was about to ask you, well, you already brought that up, Terry. Does either one of these teams get back to not much Super Bowl? What about even a championship game next year?
Yeah, the Rams don't get back.
I was
going to
say, the history says one team misses the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm saying I think we might even have a chance for both teams miss next year's playoffs. Depends where these quarterbacks end up. If that West gets a good
and who all
quarterback
comes back, it's huge. I mean, who all's going to be back for you?
Yeah, it depends. I think it really depends on how well Cincinnati drafts. I think if Cincinnati does draft, if they have a good draft and get a couple of starters out of it, especially on the offensive line, I think they've got a good chance to be back because Joey B he's really good, Terry. I mean, he's better than I ever thought he would be at this stage. I mean, he's only second year.
Well, they made it. We pointed out the week they got it. The defense got hot at the end.
They made adjustments. They made adjustments.
They were 17th ranked coming in to the playoffs. And I do want to mention, this is the 6th time now in Super Bowl history the team not ranked in the top 12 in scoring defense won the Super Bowl. Rams were 15th.
Really?
We had a 15 versus 17 matchup.
See, but it's just what I didn't understand about the Bengals is in the playoffs. What did they do? Well, they adjusted.
Well,
and they didn't adjust on the last drive.
Terry's prediction was Bengals 23-17.
Yeah.
That means, Terry, though, that both of those that's top 12 defense scoring.
Sure
but
is.
what was the final score? 23-20. So both teams held it under the average. So we can talk about they weren't top 12 defense. They weren't. They got on the edge, but when the game come down to it, it wasn't a 40-40 game.
No, the defense is what
it was
stood
who made the best defensive plays. So it says Bengals have cap space and draft picks to make much needed improvements upon the line.
They can't. They've got to get the offensive line, and I'm sure you can always use another defensive guy.
And you got to help him. You got to help Burrow.
Yeah.
You got to put somebody up there who's going to protect the guy.
But their wide receiver core with Chase, who's the guy from Clemson, Higgins, who's the third guy. The third guy's pretty good too. I mean, they got a pretty good receiving core.
Have they named I know it's kind of off topic, a coach in Miami yet?
I don't think I've heard.
I have not heard.
So rumors are that Brady is wanting to go out of Tampa and move on because of him and Byron Leftwich don't get along with Bruce Arians. Actually, that Bruce Arians is basically
I've heard Leftwich's name
coming over their game. They like Byron and Tom come in early, do their stuff, write up game plans, stuff like that. And Bruce, who's the head coach, who obviously thinks he should have rights to do this, comes in with his little red marker, marks over it, and the story is that Brady just doesn't. They weren't happy with it, and it didn't think he should trust between those two that played. Byron played, and he.
Okay, I think I know where you're going with this. You're talking Leftwich and Brady
going
in Miami?
Somewhere, not necessarily Miami. I was just wondering if there's any other coaching openings right now. That's the only one I could think of off the top of my head. So I just threw that name out there. I can't remember if anyone else is still opening. Now, with that said, Byron could still go somewhere and be an offensive coordinator with Tom. So I don't know what that deal is and where Brady is. Everything everybody's saying is Brady wants to be in San Francisco. And whether that happens or not, I don't know. Where else could he play? I don't think he would go to Miami. I would think.
The Jaguars hired somebody, didn't they?
Right. So that's why I was wondering about the Leftwich Brady combination. Is Byron kind of pulled his name out of it before they named the coach? So I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Washington rumors are that they are willing to trade Chase Young for Russell
I saw
Wilson.
that. Or they were going to trade him for somebody else, not just Aaron Rodgers. They're going to trade him for Aaron Rodgers.
They're willing to trade for a quarterback. So what do you think about that?
I don't know. I mean, the knock on Aaron Rodgers is right now he's Mr. September and October. That I want to say this, he's got a losing record in the playoffs in recent years. So I mean, it's just weird. It's just that game against San Francisco. I still can't get over that. Like, when they go 3-and-out on their last possession like that. I mean, it's just, your star makes you play. It's like Stafford did for the Rams. Your star finds a way late in the game when you need it. And the Rams sold the farm to get Stafford. I mean, they did. They gave away a lot to get him. But that big gamble paid off. But, that's what they got him there for. When I watched that last drive, I was like, okay, I understand. Because I questioned that. I said, the Rams have screwed up. Well, that's why I'm not an NFL GM. But they, they got the guy. There's your guy. When it's all on the line, your guy finds a way.
So did you see the no-look pass from Stafford?
I can't remember
in the Super
exact
Bowl.
one.
So this is the big thing everybody's talking about is Stafford throwing this no-look pass. And
now he's a slinger. I mean, he'll take chances. He throws a lot of picks.
Right. So I've done this before. I bet he's played basketball. I mean, that's all it is it's a basketball play. And it's just weird seeing a quarterback do this. But one thing I wanted to say is I wish that they would show. All right, see how this is the view, the classic television view, of football. I wish they would show the view behind the quarterback.
So they do every now and then,
and they're going to show the highlight of it. So they've got that camera there floating. I would like to see that camera live action. So there's this one,
right? They show that
because this is what I want to see as someone who played it, because I want to see where everybody's at. Because I see this. This looks way better to me. This is a Madden view. This is what people are used to seeing.
Was this the last drive?
Yeah, maybe. So he's throwing this ball to 10 right now, Tom. The wide receiver in the top right, not the one turning around, the one running at the 40.
Right.
But he's going to throw it right at that bingo there in the middle.
Yeah.
So you see, people
You got to trust the guy.
He's going to throw it right at this guy's face.
Yep.
So you got to do this sometimes. So what you do is you wait for him when he turns his head to look this way, you zip it by.
Yep.
And that's what he did right here.
That's a big boy throw, man. I'm gonna tell you what right now. That's a big boy throw.
So when he lets go,
that's a big boy throw.
Look where his head is definitely pointing at the comeback route.
Yeah.
But Cup is behind him and he sees him.
He's throwing to a spot.
And he throws right at where that bingle was. All right, so he catches it where? On the hashes?
Yeah.
Look where that bingle was standing right before Stafford let go of it.
And let me tell you something.
Right there.
Yeah. Let me tell you something else, Kevin. That's a rope. Yeah. That's a rope.
Right by his ear.
I tell you, but he always had the big arm. He's got the big arm.
And I'll tell you why he can throw that pass right there is that 3/4 arm pass. Yeah. If you throw it over the top like Brady and do the classic over the top, that's a sidearm 3/4. That's my release right there. You can go left and right with that really easy. As the over the top guys can go up and down. You'll see a lot of Brady's balls go down and low. That's that sidearm right there. Cam's balls. I bet some of Stafford's picks over the years have been ball sailing where his elbow drops, kind of like Cam Newton's. Yeah. And when you go there, you got to keep that elbow up. But that was just a great pass.
But that's just confidence.
But I want to see that view and a little bit lower. If they could show it just a little bit lower, because I think fans would appreciate seeing the ball, the windows you have to put it in.
Yeah.
Because from the sideline view, you don't actually see the window.
Yeah.
Because like you could throw a ball in from the sideline and be like, nice pass. I'm like, you have no idea how sick that was. I felt like I made a fantastic throw there.
But that is the utmost confidence in chemistry.
Yeah.
You know where that guy's going to be. He knows you're going to throw it, and there it is. I mean, and they've only been together this year. You know what I mean? That was like two guys that have been playing together for 10 years. I mean, that's phenomenal.
All right, let's try to do bad picks from last week. It's gonna.
So you already let Terry. He didn't have to witness his.
He
own
didn't have
bad
to.
picks.
He's listening. I know he's listening. So I'm gonna have to hit a button or two times. So bear with me.
Okay.
Make sure I do this right.
Skeleton crew today.
Yeah. No.
We're like everybody else. We can't find help.
We will be getting a new intern coming in. A Cleveland College student, Cherryville High School graduate. Lauren will be joining us probably next week. So we'll have her in next week. All right. Let's see. I think I did that right. Let's try this now.
Bad picks.
Tom, read Matthew Stafford's qualifications there.
Matthew Stafford, first season with the LA Rams, 12 season with the Detroit Tigers.
That's awesome.
ABC News, folks. ABC News. 12 seasons with the Detroit Tigers.
Whenever I screw up in class, I remember I was doing comparative politics yesterday with Germany, and I couldn't remember whether it was Bundesrat or Bundestat. I felt bad that I couldn't remember, but they don't know the difference between the Bengals and
Didn't
the
matter what you were
Tigers.
saying. That's what I was asking you.
And I make significantly less than whoever edited that for the ABC coverage. That's funny.
You probably would have been better with the Detroit Tigers.
I remember that.
I said, I want to tell you something. Burrow, I like how he comes through, and he won the Heisman and everything that he's done to get to where he's at. And I like Stafford. I like him being moved, and all of a sudden he's got a shot. That's something he never would have had with the Detroit Tigers. Yeah. But, you know.
Terry.
Bad picks.
Well, I'm going to give you my opinion, then I'm going to leave. It's like this. I don't care for neither one of them.
By the
I
way,
will watch it.
I'm going to stop Terry there for a second, Tom. He said, I'm going to give you my opinion. I'm going to leave. He talked for 3.5 minutes. I had to cut that out.
I'm a Super Bowl man. I will watch Super Bowl.
I'd make 3 cuts on this.
What you going to eat, Terry?
Yeah, wings
Terry?
and pizza. And
Where are you
all
getting
that
your
good
pizza
stuff.
and wings, Terry?
You just complained about eating pizza.
Well, that was last week. That was that. You know, my pizza going to be fresh and ready to go.
It tastes
and
better when
good.
you pay for it, huh?
Yeah. But anyway.
What you got on this game?
All right. I am going Bengals to win it. And why I'm picking them is on account of 2 former Wolfpackers are on their defense.
Wolfpacker?
Pratt
Is that
and
a word?
Hill.
Wolfpacker?
Yep. That's it.
Wolfpacker.
If it's going to be a blowout, it
Be the
will be
Rams.
the Rams blow them out.
I
if
think
that's
so too.
gonna
I mean,
yeah.
I do you see the Rams defense getting blown out? Is a question, or
my final score is this: I got Bengals 23, the Rams 17 as a final.
I don't know if they'll hold them to 17.
23-17.
No.
If the Bengals win, now.
But
if
there
it's
are
the
definitely
other way around, I would go Rams 42, Bengals 17.
There's
something like that.
That's a blowout.
Bad picks.
I think 30-23 is what I got in my head.
Somewhere in
for
that.
Bengals.
So you're going Bengals?
I think Bengals will win it.
So Zach,
I just think they. You said it earlier about the Giants. They just feel like they're very similar to that Giants team that came in and.
There seemed to
knocked
be a
off
team
the
of
Patriots.
destiny.
Bad picks.
I don't know what to do here. I'm going to pick the Rams to win.
Yeah.
Based on science. I'm going to go with the Rams. Based on feelings,
Tom,
I would probably rather the Bengals win.
I haven't picked yet, but I'm just going to go in the Bengals in a tight one. I'm probably taking the Bengals straight up, taking the under.
So
Friendly
three
wager.
Bengals, and I'm
Friendly
the
wager.
only one on the Rams.
So what I expect in this game is the Rams are going to come out and score 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. The Bengals will make their adjustments, and the Rams get 7 the rest of the game. That's what everybody does to the Rams.
Yeah.
That's what the 49ers did to the Rams in the season finale. That's what the Buccaneers did to the Rams. And also, really, the San Francisco 49ers should have won the game if he catches that interception that I could have called, and I can't catch. So, I mean, it's just, I don't trust the Rams.
I agree.
I mean, what's the coach's name? Forgot his
Sean
name. McVay. I don't trust McVay's ability to adjust in the second half. I mean, he's a lot of flash. Everybody likes him. I mean, he's one of these guys who looks like he could still play.
And remember,
but his second half adjustments. I don't think he's doing the right things.
Bad picks.
all right, JP.
Before we go,
who are you picking, JP? Cincinnati Bengals and LA Rams in the Super Bowl.
Bengals 21-7.
Bengals 21-7.
Bad picks. The Los Angeles Rams won 23-20 in Super Bowl 56 over the Cincinnati Bengals. I can't believe everybody but my daddy picked the same team as JP's. Ha ha, losers. Those are some bad picks.
Sorry about that. She dangerously repeats what I tell her to.
Been admonished by a elementary school girl. That makes me feel good. But
first grade,
I was sort of right where the Bengals. I mean, the Rams start off hot, and they shut the Rams down. And the last drive, like, okay, here we go. You put 2 on Cup, and let's go. And I just can't believe, or they should have put 3 on Cup, and just rush 3, drop 8, put 3 on Cup, make somebody else beat you. That's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. I just can't believe that in a Super Bowl. What happened?
Well, the Bills didn't guard Kansas City, wasn't that?
Yeah, it's just
like they should have.
I was just like, what are they doing? What are they doing? But it is what it is, and they bangled that game, as Trent Marty say. They bangled it, and the holding call was BS. But they're all the way down there, goal to goal situation anyway. So I'm just not real sure how that happens.
So that's the big news this week, of course. Everybody's talking quarterbacks and who's going where. Is Aaron Rodgers going somewhere? The draft, or the Panthers going to draft somebody? It said the rumor this was, or not rumor, reports came out this past week, Tom, that the Panthers thought that they had acquired Matthew Stafford, and the deal was done. And then, like 2 hours later, they call back and they say the Rams trumps their deal.
I hadn't heard that.
So the Panthers had a deal. This is one of the reporters from the Observer. And the Panthers supposedly had the deal, thought they were done. It was agreed upon, verbal, all that stuff, and then took a couple hours later that they were called and said the Rams are going to get him. So where the Panthers go from that, they're sitting in the 6th spot. Do they draft a quarterback there? Do they trade? One of these quarterbacks could be available. They've seen trade possibilities for some of these guys. I don't know if anybody would want to come to. Like any of the big names would want to come play in Carolina. Why would you with a college coach that hasn't proven anything? He's been here 3 years is this the third? He's went 2. This will be the 3rd, yeah. So I don't know if they're going to be able to be like, hey, Russell Wilson or something like that, as like Washington maybe could. So the Panthers may be looking at the Pittsburgh kid you bring up. What is his name?
Oh, jeez. If you hadn't asked me, I could have told you. I'm horrible with names. I'll just look up quarterbacks 2022.
Well, also, like, if Tom's gone, what do the Bucks do? Do any of these want to be down there with that now, or is it just going to be a mass exodus / rebuild out of Tampa? Bruce Arians says they're not rebuilding, they're reloading.
Yeah.
I don't know how true that'll be if he can't get a decent quarterback to come down there. I don't think they're doing anything as far as that.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to play quarterback for him.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Kenny Pickett's the guy from Pittsburgh. Kenny Pickett.
Okay, so that's one of the Panthers' rumored maybe go-tos for that. So
it's not really a quarterback rich draft. So I mean, I don't know. Kenny Pickett's number one.
You know what? One big key in all of it is actually is what the San Francisco 49ers think of Trey Lance.
Yeah,
because they really, really, really like him. I've seen video of him slinging it in practice time. Oh my God! I was a fan when they drafted. I wanted him to. I thought he was the best quarterback in that draft. And
he better be. They sold the farm to get him.
Wasn't he in the Trevor Lawrence draft?
Yeah. Yes, because that was when the quarterbacks went 1, 2, and 3, didn't they?
Right. I was extremely high on Lance.
I was higher on him than I was the kid from BYU.
Watching video, I know I'm going out on a limb here. Reminds me of Steve McNair back in the day. They showed a video of him rolling to his left and throwing the ball.
Yeah.
Oh my God, just nasty.
That's what they're trying to recoup some of that lost capital with Garoppolo.
If they want to keep him, that totally affects the Brady and these other quarterback situations. Because if they're getting rid of Garoppolo and him, that's you can get back probably some decent draft picks to help out as well. But if they're staying there, does Brady come back at all? Does he go somewhere else? Rumors maybe, and there's reasons behind this. Arizona's not a fan of Kyler Murray. We talked about a little bit of that last week.
He took it down off of social media or something like that.
Is that a spot Brady would go to?
I tell you where he wants to go, where it's warm and there's low taxes.
Well, right.
Hence he went to Florida. That's why, Kevin, Miami made sense to me.
Right.
It's warm, it's low taxes. That's where he wants to play. So Arizona would make sense to me. San Francisco would not make sense to me, even though he's from there because of the, you don't have to deal with the cold, but I don't know if he wants to play in California, even though he is from California. So but to San Francisco just doesn't make any sense. I mean, I guess for a year, would you do it for a year?
For Brady?
Yeah. Would you do it for 1 year?
They would sign him for. I think he's consistently said he wanted to play to 45. That would mean 3 years. So he's 42.
He's not 42. He's 44.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I thought he was 43.
No. He's played 2 years in Tampa. I think he was 42 when he went to Tampa.
Got you. So like I said, if they think Trey Lance is better in 2 years, you don't do it. If you know that's my quarterback and you don't do it, you can't.
What's the numbers going to be? What are you going to have to pay him?
Now, right. Now, Trey is, I would say he is, crap.
Lance is still super young. I think he's just 22.
Yeah, that was it. That's exactly what I was. He's 21, actually. I read that
super
yesterday.
Young.
So he's 21. And
what do you think you can get for Jimmy G, though? I mean, you going to trade Jimmy G straight up for Brady? Is that going to happen? I don't think so. I think,
that wouldn't be a bad situation for both teams.
Well, you're going to get a guy for a year. You're looking to unload Garoppolo. I mean,
it's pretty much an even.
He's still under contract.
Even trade.
He's still under contract. So he has to be traded.
Him, Garoppolo, and Rodgers.
Has to be traded. Right?
They all have to be traded. Jameis Winston could be available.
He ain't going back to Tampa. That's not gonna happen. He's not going back to Tampa. It is weird that Brady quit like that. I didn't expect that. I will say I thought he'd play one more year.
So Packers, the Broncos hired the Aaron Rodgers quarterback coach or offensive coordinator, one of the two.
Yeah, I saw that. But didn't they bring back the Packers brought back some old guy out of retirement to be the offensive coordinator that Rodgers loves.
Right. So that's
they're
the
trying
big
to keep
rumor
him,
is
yeah.
Rodgers if he doesn't stay,
Goes to Denver.
He'll be in Denver. Russell Wilson, it says New Orleans Saints possibly. I don't think any of those get traded to an in-conference. I really don't. Vikings have said they're staying with Kirk Cousins. This one says Vikings to Pittsburgh, but I don't think they're going to move on from him. One of the things I saw that was funny yesterday, Tom said, somebody said, what if the Redskins would have just kept Kirk Cousins?
Well, they'd be in better shape than they are now.
Like it never gets better. They had problems with him. They let the mob rule them, unlike like Dallas had fans not liking Romo in that sense, what Cousins was. And they're like, okay, he's lighting it up, like with Mayfield. He just won a playoff game. Let's get rid of him. Like they are those type of people and fans. But yeah, I think they were kind of like him with him Cousins. He didn't get a fair shake on that. I don't believe. Let's see if I got any fun news and notes here going through. I thought I had something on the football. Guess I don't. A couple more. I guess I don't think Brown's going to do anything, Tom.
No.
I think they'll do another year of.
Everybody wants to talk this or that, but he's on his 5th year, so you're going to pay him $18 million.
Now, what about this possibility? Panthers for Garoppolo.
He might. I mean, he'd fit. I mean, but of course they still have Darnold under contract, right?
Now, if he gets a choice where he wants to go, I think he would want to go to Tennessee, probably.
Wouldn't
any quarterback want to be in Tennessee with all those receivers and Derrick Henry?
But is Garoppolo really an upgrade over Tannehill? I mean, they're similar.
One of them's been to 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, I guess. But you got to.
Isn't that weird? Let's get rid of the guy who's been to 2 Super Bowls.
If you're gonna make a big splash and get a guy, you want that guy to be like Stafford and the Rams. You made a big splash, but he was obviously head and shoulders above Goff.
What kind of snake salesmen are these GMs and owners to where they'll go? They get again. Well, Garoppolo's made 2 of the Super Bowls for us. Let's get rid of him.
He's one of those guys that people like, but he just doesn't pass the eye test, does he? He just doesn't pass. Like when you watch him play, he just doesn't pass the eye test.
He's been to 1 Super Bowl,
but he's been to a Super Bowl. He almost got to another Super Bowl.
2
I mean, it's just.
Games.
It's
like
just
I guess that's the Jets and not like Mark Sanchez and Chad Pennington.
Yeah, it's just
It's not just. So what I was going to get about the snake oil salesman is they'll be like, well, this guy's good enough to get to the Super Bowl, but I'm such a smart person that I can get rid of him and get a better quarterback. And when has that ever worked out? Other than, I tell you what, the Rams just did it. But did that do it, or did adding Von Miller and Beckham and Stafford and all that they added to it? It wasn't just Stafford. It wasn't just Beckham. But Von Miller, if you do recall, the key to that Super Bowl win, yes, he was the MVP. Who was the other side? They just brought in DeMarcus Ware.
Yeah.
You had a 2-headed monster. Once you put Von Miller on that defense of Aaron Donald, that's what made that one.
And that's
extremely dangerous.
That's what Cleveland's trying to do and get Clowney back. You need guys on both ends. Because
Right.
once you got that, man, you can't double team. You know what I mean? You can't double team.
That's the key is the double.
Yeah, that's right. Because you're going to double team this guy. Okay, I got another guy on the other side. So, yeah, that's big. And I guess people don't really talk about that one as much as they do. They talk about Stafford a lot and OBJ, but Von Miller did make a big difference.
Just being out there and having to, he made plays too.
You got to account for him.
This mock draft, Tom, has the Browns going with Traylon Burks, wide receiver of Arkansas.
They're going to have to get a wide receiver somehow. I think Garrett Wilson would be good because he's a hometown kid. I mean, I
don't like picking a first-round wide receiver unless
you really need it.
That and you're 100% sold on him. That if you can get it, it's like the running backs. If you know you're getting 1,000 yards from him, it's worth it. If he's not getting 1,000 yards,
it's not worth it.
You should get a good defender or a lineman.
But Cleveland went a lot of defense last draft, so they could probably gamble on a wide receiver. But they're talking at because of the way Stefanski does the offense, he's got all these tight ends. You're a wide receiver. Okay, well, how did it work out for OBJ? Not real good. I mean, so that's the main thing I hate about the OBJ situation. Like, I'm not like a lot of Cleveland guys, just hate the guy. Well, it didn't work out. I didn't like the way he left, but I understand why. If I'm playing wide receiver, I want the ball. And if I'm not getting the ball, let me go somewhere where I am. So why would a big-time free agent wide receiver say, let me go to the Browns and watch the tight ends catch 10 balls a game? I mean,
Hey,
I understand why they don't want to go.
If they drafted 2 wide receivers in the second and third round, I wouldn't say a word. I just don't like messing around with that. I don't like messing around with that first one on something you don't know. Again, if they know that's Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, draft away.
Yeah.
But if you're thinking there's a chance he might not get 1,000 yards a year,
Yeah, you need somebody.
Well, let me put it this way. Let's go through let's count the receivers in this. This is just one mock draft that I've got, and this is first round. So they've got one. I'm going to one at the 8th pick, 13 Browns, 19 Eagles, 20 Rams. Raiders.
Rams ain't picking 20. They won Super Bowl. They ain't picking 20.
5 in Tampa.
You win the Super Bowl regardless of record. You pick last, right?
Yes, you're supposed to.
I thought,
Now, but the Rams have traded their picks, so Detroit gets that pick.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
So you've got 5 receivers listed in the first round, Tom. You're telling you.
It's a pass happy, Kevin. It's a pass happy league.
What I'm saying is, 3, if not 4, of those are not going to be Pro Bowlers.
Probably not.
And what I'm saying, do you want to draft the best of 5 or the best of 2? You know what I'm saying? If there's two starting safeties on the board, and there's 5 starting wide receivers, I believe you should take the one of the 2, because then the next round comes around. And you need a safety. Now you're picking the 9th best safety.
Yeah, but what's your current? What's your current status? What'd you draft last year? What are you going to get in free agency? I mean, you can't just say I'm not going to pick a wide receiver because a lot of wide receivers in the first round. Well, they're not going to be Pro Bowlers. I don't want to, spend that capital on that. But at the same time, where are you? I think if you're Cleveland, your offensive line, you're pretty set there. Running back, you're pretty set there. You drafted Newsome, who's a top corner. You got Owusu Koromora, who I can never remember his name. You got him in the draft last year.
You nailed it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
Owusu
JOK is what they call him, yeah. So you spent some capital last year on some guys who were starting on defense, and you got the couple guys from the Rams. You got Hill from the Rams and John Johnson. So you can maybe say, well, let's take a chance. Let's take a chance on, the kid from Arkansas you mentioned, not familiar with him, or Garrett Wilson. Maybe he will be a Pro Bowler, maybe we won't, but we drafted so much defense
you
before.
Sound like Jerry Jones over there taking a chance. I want sure thing first round. You said chance.
No.
That's the difference between us.
Matt Stafford,
No chance
Matt Stafford to the Rams was not a sure thing. You took a chance. And that's why it's I was just reflecting on that today. I just kept thinking about that. I can remember, you could probably roll the film. The Rams are dumb. That's crazy. What are they giving away all this capital for? To get Matt Stafford, who's never won a playoff game. They're crazy. Da-da-da-da-da. But you know what I'm going to give the Rams credit for? You got every once in a while, Kevin, you got to take a chance. You got to take a chance, and it pays off. So I'm not opposed to. I don't know if this guy's going to be a dud or a stud, but take a chance.
First round pick for a starting quarterback. That's a good trade.
What's that now?
They traded a first round pick for a starting quarterback.
They traded multiple picks
for a starting quarterback.
Yeah, multiple, not one, multiple.
Not a chance
for a 31, 32-year-old guy's never won a playoff game, Kevin.
Wide receivers never caught a pass in the NFL either.
Yeah, but sometimes you can tell. Sometimes you can tell. Now the guy Smith and Jigba for the Ohio State. I wish he was coming out this year because someone's going to get him in the top 5 next year. He's phenomenal. But I just think that I'm gonna trust Barry. I trust the GM. I do have a lot of faith in our GM and say, look, whoever he picks, I'm not going to say, oh, you should have got this guy, should have got that guy. I'm like, okay, I trust you. Go get us a guy. Go get us who you think is going to help us win. Because Newsome was a hit. JOK was a hit. I trust him. Felton, they got in the 5th round, was contributing, running back some kicks and getting some, plays on third down. So if they continue to hit on draft picks, I trust him.
If it hits it, more power to him. 2 2,000-yard receivers last year in the draft, Chase and Waddle. Pitt's got 1,000 at the tight end position, so there's that. But Pitt's only ended up with 1 touchdown. That's kind of weird.
Who'd he play for? Who'd pitch it? Miami?
Atlanta.
Okay, I couldn't remember who he
with
was
Matt Stafford. And Waddle was the one that went to Miami. He had 1,000 yards in Miami.
Okay, yeah.
So there's your that the 2 guys had 900. So 5 guys had 900 yards or more. So Tom, if that's what you think, past that it's dead drop off. After that, the rest of them, you and me, about had as many yards as the rest of them.
Okay, Terry wanted to contribute this. Philadelphia is talking about Jalen Hurts, and I would assume a number 1 pick to Seattle for Russell Wilson. Philadelphia has currently 3 first-round picks, so they could probably send a couple of number 1s to get Will. Would you give up 2 number 1s for Wilson at this point in his career, in his 30s?
If I'm the Eagles, no, because your defense ain't good enough. If you're somebody else, yeah.
If you're ready to win now,
like what the Rams just did.
Yeah, like what the Rams. If you're Tennessee, would you do that?
I don't know if Tennessee have any weaknesses not to do that, right? Like, why wouldn't you?
If you're Cleveland, would you do that? Would you give 2 number 1s? No. Cleveland's got a pretty good roster.
Yes, and here's why. How many years of peak Nick Chubb are you going to have?
Yeah, that's true.
Do you can't waste the next 3 years. They have to try to win the Super Bowl the next 3
and
years.
They could do some stuff, like if they could do something with Landry's contract and Hooper's contract and free up some money. I think they have to get Clowney back. I don't know if they will, because somebody might throw a stupid number at him. He had a great year last year, so there's no guarantee that he's coming back. But yeah, I would say that you got that good offensive line. You got Nick Chubb in his prime.
You got to try to win now. You
got
can't
to
wait
try
5
to win.
years and hope Nick Chubb's going to be okay in 5 years.
Yeah, I know.
10,000 yards.
I know.
Let's not do this. You've got to go now. That's why I asked last week, is it time for the Browns not to draft somebody to replace him? No. You bring a veteran in that knows the ball.
You're not going to draft Kenny Pickett.
You're one of 2 lines. You keep Baker. Yeah, you're not drafting Kenny Pitts. What is that? What his name was?
Pickett.
Kenny.
Pickett.
What's the guy?
Like picket fence
in the movie? Kenny Powers.
Not Kenny Powers.
Draft Kenny Powers to replace Baker Mayfield. You got to get a veteran. All right, JP, we got to take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll finish up NBA talk. All-Star Weekend on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Here's some good news. It's 2 for 1. 2 good companies have now become one great company. Hopper Heating and Air and Shelby Heating and Air have combined their businesses to become Shelby Heating and Air. David Hopper invites you to call on them for all of your heating and air conditioning needs, with name brands like Carrier and Goodman, plus complete service and repair. Shelby Heating and Air and Hopper Heating and Air, now one. Call 704-487-7877 today.
Sidewalk Boutique in downtown Lincoln has Just Kid in clothes. All type of clothing from newborn to sizes 14 to 16. Hats, shoes, newborn blankets, and accessories for children. Stop in at 116 East Main Street in downtown Lincoln. Hours of business, Tuesday through Thursdays, 10 to 6 p.m., Fridays, 10 to 7 p.m., Saturdays, 10 to 6 p.m. Just Kid and Clothes in Sidewalk Boutique. Like them on Facebook.
$12.99 down. Yes, only $12.99 down. Delivers at Cars, Trucks, and Credit in Lincoln. Just arrived. 5 great-looking and great-driving vehicles for $12.99 down, including a 2009 Honda Odyssey, 2014 Chevy Cruze, a 2008 Ford Fusion, a 2009 Honda Civic, and a 2006 Jeep Liberty. Your choice, $12.99 down at Cars, Trucks, and Credit. 604 Clark Drive in Lincoln. Online at ctcautosports.com. and see their page at whatsupshopper.com.
Warmer weather means hotter cars, and the hottest selection of muscle cars are waiting for you at Iconic Motor Company of Shelby. Chevy Corvettes, Dodge Chargers, Chevrolet Camaros, Dodge Challengers, Ford Mustangs, and more. Shop online at iconicmotorcompanyofshelby.com. Click on and get approved in seconds. It's time to ride at Iconic Motor Company of Shelby, 325 West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, and see their page at whatsupshopper.com. Need metal roofing? Then you need to see Triad Corrugated Metal Roofing in Lincoln. At Triad Corrugated Metal Roofing, you buy direct, saving you money. Featuring premium paint systems, painted fasteners to match, and 1 to 2 day turnaround. 29 gauge material in stock with 22 colors to choose from. It's the largest selection of colors in North Carolina. Plus, they will custom cut your length. Triad Corrugated Metal Roofing, 108 Industrial Park in Lincoln. Call 980-429-2278. Triad Corrugated Metals is now hiring Class A CDL drivers.
It may be cold outside, but right now is a great time to get your mower ready for the spring with a winter tune-up and checkup at Carolina Hardware Garden and Pool Center in Lincoln. Bring it on in and it'll be ready to go this spring. Plus, keep warm with a new heater and see the line of Husqvarna mowers, trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws. That's Carolina Hardware Garden and Pool Center, 969 Reepsville Road in Lincoln, and see their page at whatsupshopper.com.
All right, well, we're back here on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin and Tom. I want to say we're in the last leg of the race, but unfortunately they've already tossed about NASCAR. I don't know where they're going this moment. Where y'all at, NBA?
Camel racing.
Camel racing. Okay.
Camel racing.
Just want to remind you.
Actually, those are very uncomfortable to ride.
I can imagine. Just want to remind our listeners that Shelby Heating and Air bringing you Saturday Morning Sports Talk. Give them a call, 704-487-7877. Check them out online, shelbyheating.com. Thank you for making Saturday Morning Sports Talk possible. Once again, the number 704-487-7877. Kevin?
Well, NBA.
Oh, I was right. Wow.
What?
I said NBA. I was right.
NBA All-Star weekend. Tonight is All-Star Saturday night, dunk contest, three-point contest. All of that stuff tonight. Last night was the Rising Stars Tournament Challenge. And that was the first year and second year players play against each other. And little tournament that they had. I'm going to give you some box score updates because we got to talk about, Tom, if you're in the Rising Stars Challenge and you make the All-Star team, should you be the best player on the court?
If you're in the Rising Stars.
If you're in the Rising Stars.
You're the best player on the court.
First 2 years players, and you're the only one sitting out there that's an All-Star, shouldn't you be the best player on the court?
Yeah.
Well, LaMelo had 5 other players got more points than him in the Rising Stars Challenge. So are they all All-Stars? I just need to know this.
Yeah,
are they all All-Stars?
Do they have Instagram followers?
1, 2, 3, 4 other players had more assists than him. Are they all All-Stars? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other players had more rebounds than him. Are they all All-Stars?
How much did he play? How many minutes? Did he play as many minutes?
I don't know. It don't list the minutes. It actually has 0 on everybody. He was a starter. It did mark him as a starter. So on that,
he wanted to taking it easy,
Yeah, that's what it was. So this is here you go, Tom. I'm going to bring up this video. One guy's averaging 23 and was the first overall pick. The other guy is an All-Star. So here's the first guy. Here's our All-Star. Whoop. This is our All-Star. Let's show this again. This is the NBA's All-Star, version of an All-Star. Whoop. Like, they didn't even put any power in it because he can't get up there. Now, this is not an All-Star, averaging 23 points, number 1 overall in the NBA.
Number one pick.
Okay. Right. Whoo! So you're telling me that to sell tickets, we're going to watch this weekend, because that was a cool bounce pass to himself, Tom, or the guy jumping over the dudes, yamming on the world.
Yeah.
Now, it has been announced. Now, I do want to say this. Because, and this is one thing that I feel bad for Anthony Edwards. Because of the campaign to get LaMelo in these awards, he got the Rookie of the Year and the All-Star. Have you ever heard anybody besides me sit here and talk about Anthony Edwards?
Nope.
The kid's averaging 23. He's jumping over people and dunking on them.
Yeah.
This kid is outstandingly amazing, and we're not even talking about it. It did get announced last night that Chris Paul's not going to play. The rumor is that he is going to be the one named.
Okay.
So in the second game last night, he actually sat in the fourth quarter. And they asked him about it, and he said, I'm going to be an All-Star sooner or later around here.
Okay.
Right. So he may get to play Sunday. We'll see. But again, to boost up whatever it is, they've held down this kid who might be the next superstar in the league, and nobody even talks about it. And I feel so bad for him. So we can talk about LaMelo. And without that said, now let's go to the Hornets and talk about that mess. NBA standings, Tom.
Yeah, my Cavaliers lost a couple in a row there. Lost to the Hawks, lost to the Sixers. Struggling a little bit.
I guess, with Levert in there, I guess it maybe a little bit of chemistry. I wasn't able to keep up with those games. I was just a little bit.
You're tied for the 3.
Yeah. I tell you what, I don't know. I mean, if you look at those teams, the Heat, the Bulls, the Sixers, and the Bucks, everybody's going to argue those 4 teams are better than the Cavs. So I think that realistically, you can get that 5th spot. Boston's not bad. Boston's come on here lately.
I think besides the Brooklyn Nets, because we have no idea what they are, everyone from 1 to 10, for the most part, to me, is settling in the areas I thought where they would. You guys are surprised being that high to me, but if you told me Miami, Chicago, Milwaukee, and Philadelphia are the top 4 teams before the league even started, that's no surprise to me whatsoever. And then the next ones are the Bostons, the Clevelands, the Torontos that don't have maybe that superstar yet to put you over the top. And then I said from the start of the year, Charlotte's a play-in team. I don't get why people thought. We had delusions of grandeur around here because of the press that just one player gets. But they're sitting in the 9 seed, Tom. One of their last 9, they've won one of their last 10. It's even worse than that. Let me go back a few extra games. And you remember me 2 weeks ago saying when all this started, don't you? Once they named the All-Star teams and LaMelo had a shot to make it, and he started shooting and 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 shooting. And now, Tom, they have won 3 of their last 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 3 and 10. 11. 3 and 11. 3 of their last 14 games they've won.
Terrible.
Now, of course, the online chatter is, believe it or not, fire Borrego. Play LaMelo more.
No, I think you need to fire Borrego and probably play LaMelo a little less. So, I agree with half of that.
So that was the thing. So I looked up the stats because I hadn't looked it up. So in this last stretch, like I told you, he shot 50 more times than Miles Bridges has in this stretch. In that stretch, he has now surpassed him they're tied exactly 20.0, 20.0 now, Tom. So he got to his goal, right? Now, here's what I got my question for. You remember how I talk about shots, who takes the most shots on the team? LaMelo's leading the team in the most shots.
I can believe that.
17 shots a game LaMelo's taken, 16 for Rozier, 15 for Miles Bridges, Oubre, 13. The Hornets have got to figure out how to not, whether it's LaMelo or whoever, somebody else bring the ball up. Let's see. Then another, let's see, Scotty Barnes. Did you see this picture of him and LaMelo and Scotty Barnes yesterday?
I probably did not.
Where he's so they're both listed at 6'7". And I was trying to find it on Twitter first, and they were showing them standing beside each other yesterday. One of them is not. Neither one of them is 6'7" or either 116 and 165 or something like that.
Borrego never played pro ball. I didn't even realize that.
Did you play anything?
Played college ball.
Where do you play at?
Out west. He's from Albuquerque, and he played with the San Diego Toreros, 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 during his senior season. So he's played in the West Coast Conference. Did they change their name from the Aztecs? Are they not the Aztecs anymore?
I don't
Oh,
know.
no. That's just San Diego University because there's San Diego and San Diego State. So he played for, I believe, San Diego University. But no, I was looking up. I said, this guy ever play? Did he ever play for the pros? He never played in the pros. Did not realize that.
I didn't know he played at all. I thought he was just a coach. Speaking of that,
He was named to the West Coast Conference All-Academic Team. Well, he's a smart guy, but he doesn't know that P.J. Washington can't guard Joel Embiid. I guess that question wasn't on the test.
I'm gonna find it.
He does take a lot of flack. I think he does deserve it. Whenever you lose 9 out of 10, man, that's a formula to get yourself a pink slip.
So here's the picture that everybody's talking about that they announced back to back, standing beside each other. That they were both 6'7".
So you're saying that he's taller, or
somebody's taller?
Yeah,
Scotty's definitely taller than LaMelo, but they're both listed at 6'7".
I don't think LaMelo. I don't think he's quite 6'7". He's probably 6'5".
I think he's 6'5", and Scotty's 6'8".
Yeah.
They're 3 inches off.
Yeah, he's pretty tall. Yeah.
Here's a better one. This is the one I want to show. You can see Scotty's head touching that line in the background. Look how far LaMelo is.
Yeah. Yeah.
This was the fun talk last night about the funny tweets that everybody was getting on them about last night was their heights. But again, so the Hornets coming up, Tom, they're 2 games under, right?
Yeah.
If they had a 10-game win streak, right now they're the 9 seed. That would put them at 540, I think 560 percentage. That would put them in the 7 seed. So even a 10-game win streak to end the season would why is that on that?
It's a while off though. They got to play all of March, right? When's the season end? Sometime in April, right?
Mm-hmm. April 10th is the last game of the season. But that's what I was saying is that even with a 10-game win streak, like they don't have a chance to almost basically get it into the playoffs. And so they're sitting there in that play-in tournament right now. Now, with that said, Brooklyn's sitting there in the play-in tournament. Ain't nobody going to want none of that. Yeah. Now, their starting lineup now is going to be Kyrie, Durant, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and who was the fourth one?
Didn't they get Simmons now?
Yeah, Ben Simmons. So there's your starting lineup. I don't like it for Durant playing of 2 guys that I don't even like at all. I don't feel good about them. I think Miami. I thought Chicago was the favorite. I picked Chicago as a sleeper Western coming out. I thought Miami was the favorite before the season started, but we'll see.
Yeah, they're getting it together.
From there.
They're getting it. But those at the top, they're sort of beating up on each other.
Right. Well, Golden State's sitting there, them in Phoenix, Tom. Golden State's got 42 wins and they're 6 games out. They would be 4 games up in the East.
Yeah.
That's how far Phoenix is ahead right now. Golden State, though, still hasn't had James Wiseman really or their whole lineup all year as well. So Minnesota also, Tom, mentioned them. Anthony Edwards has his team 3 games over 500 in the West. Number 1 overall pick, not on the All-Star team.
Yep, the East German Judge. East German Judge strikes again.
That's what it was. That was my tweet of the day. Let me find it, Tommy. Somebody made a comment yesterday on the East German Judge. Let's see where it was.
The East German Judge.
And I had to send it to Tom. Oh, please let me find this before I know I'm out of time. Trying to find it. JP, don't play the music yet. East German Judge, where is it?
The East German Judge strikes again.
I swear I found one. I saved it. I had it for Tom. Oh, where did I put it? I'm looking at pictures at the lake now because I'm trying to find this stupid. Here it is.
Take your time. I'm not going to play it yet.
It was. Go ahead and play it. You can start us off. You can play us off. All right, Tom. It was about the University Penn transgender swimmer situation. And someone commented, looks like those East Germans sure have a strong swim team this year. We'll see you guys next week, KTC.
Thank you, Shelby Heating and Air. Oh, man.
I am seed of a chosen breed. You don't see too many like me. Cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do when you want to be me instead of you. Cause I am still on beat, showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me.